Right. Well, assuming we are live, and I'm just going to assume that we are.
We are.
Screw the consequences if it turns out that we're not. And welcome everybody to the next episode of Yesrallaw Odyssey. Assuming the episode count is correct, Trig's tracking says that we are now up to episode 44. They're impressive.
Yes.
So, who wants to give us a quick recap of the previous session? There's a DM inspiration in it for you.
Oh, I didn't get any last time.
We fixed the altar in the town. We beat up a priest, and then we bought passage on a boat.
We also waterboarded that priest, and you also totally desecrated that church.
Fixed the church.
I
Desecrated.
fixed
I
that
can
church.
give my take. Grace
the-
altered an altar, Bruce peered upon a pier, and Garrow got drunk.
Last night on Bottom Gear, Garrow marches in the church and scurries up the place. Kiki decides to desecrate the church and turn it into Mars. And I keep forgetting your character's name. And Bruce decides to waterboard a priest.
With brandy.
Bandy board?
Brandy board.
Brandy board.
Something which, by the way, he ended up sending the priest, who isn't a heavy drinker by any way, shape, or form, basically comatose.
Good.
After, of course, he got punched in the spine twice.
Yeah, well, you know. At least that way he can't tell on us.
Yeah. Even if he might try, at
Unconscious.
least for the next couple of months, he's probably not going to be able to speak properly after that kind of nerve damage.
This is why you always leave them unconscious and mute. And they can't tell any stories about you.
So you always leave them unconscious and just soaked in booze. Who's going to believe the drunk priest?
Exactly.
Just towards the end of the previous session, the party made their way over to the relatively small pier that exists on the meager dock of Braggle Rock. Oh, that rhymes. And managed to find their way on board a local trading vessel that was planning to take a small shipment of Firestone from here all the way across the southern coast of the continent to the small port city of Ulrugberg, which I've just looked at the
Wait.
name of.
That's a long
And
way.
fuck all of it.
Oh, did you only find out now?
You've only just noticed
Just
that's been...
That's been there for at least half a year by now.
Yeah.
Wait, what have you just noticed?
Ulrich Bussy.
The edit that has been made to Ulrugberg's poor name.
fun part is it's not even I who did it.
No. That one wasn't me either. I don't know who did that one. I mean, the vast amount of hidden penises and boobs in the trees, most of those are me, and in the mountains.
I remind everybody that all I need to do to reveal to everybody the sheer quantity of edits is this.
Let's get a full on zoom out on that one, just so that.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Some places are getting even better. Like, this is a half-drawn cat with a dick on it.
Where's this
Oh.
half-drawn cat?
I think he took
It's
he took
over
it at
here.
the pair
He's
of
talking
boobs.
about this.
Yeah.
This is this is beautiful.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Go ahead.
there's a
You
flying
got
witch.
The,
There is a flying witch. That might have been me.
Oh, this is beautiful. You can also see the place where we spend most of the time in the RP.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious, isn't it?
with the piss line is a bit obvious, yeah.
I
Wonder
was
which
thinking
world map
about
has
it.
been graffitied more.
let's restore that.
Yes, because that makes it better.
It does. It always makes it better if you sweep all of the mess under the sofa.
Yeah.
Yes. You see, it stops existing when you do that. Jesus Christ. I don't think I've ever seen a map that has had this many subtle instances of defacement as this. But anyway,
Now we just need to gaslight you. No, what do you mean, Rich? It's always been like that.
so, moving on. When we last left off, the party had paid for the small shipping vessel, which, bear in mind, currently doesn't appear to have any name. At least none that has been told to you all. And are making their way in what is likely to be approximately a week's journey up to the main tiefling market, which is inland a little bit, and therefore needing to have the ship navigate up the local river.
How
Can you ping it?
how close to the G would you say it is? In Tiefling?
It's about halfway, actually.
Midway?
It's about here.
Where? Ping. Draw a cross.
I'm currently pointing it out. I should be pointing it out.
I'm not saying anything.
Is it here where I put? Is it here? Okay.
It's about here.
Oh, you're drawing in very light pale blue. Got you.
No, that's me. That's me who drew that. I'll put a little thing there.
Okay,
Can you see this arrow?
Yeah, now I
Yeah.
can.
I can now. Yeah.
Now I
Okay, good.
Groovy.
Here, yeah?
Yep, that's about right. It's a little bit further south, but it's close enough. But anyway,
So we are going back to Urigberg. Well, my character's going back to Urigberg.
Wait, so this is the plan by boat?
God, that's
yes, that is the current route by boat. And if you guys decide to stick with the boat, then the journey will be turning 180 degrees, following back down the river, coming out of that entrance to the river, and then sailing along the southern coast of the continent, stopping off at most major settlements along the way to exchange various bits of goods for currency and possibly dropping people off, etc., etc.
Okay.
As is usually the case with these smaller vessels, the bulk transport of a single good is usually not possible. So, making what money can by doing little bits of courier work from place to place along the coast is usually where most of these places get the bulk of the money that they used to make the ship.
Makes sense.
Can Groose, if anyone who happens to have one of those Bibles written in Celestial, is Groose able to take a bit of a read of one of these things whilst under supervision, of course. I wouldn't want to.
Grace will happily have people sit there and do Bible readings with it.
Okay. Because Groose should be able to read that thing as if it was his own language, because it is one of his languages.
If Bruce can read it properly, can Bruce translate it and potentially make copies?
I don't see a reason why not.
I'd recommend a forger's kit.
Does Groose happen to have a? Let me have a look at my. Character sheet. I have a herbalism kit and a brewer's supplies. Does anybody else happen to have? I might be able to borrow.
I tried getting one a long time ago, which I didn't succeed in, but I do have proficiency with it.
I have wood carving tools. I don't know if that helps.
No, that's too far back in the process of making books.
Yes.
I mean, I could probably like carve the font out of wood.
We might have use for woodwork later. But okay, I would if I had a forger's kit. I don't have a forger's kit. Do I have any? I don't seem to. Pen and paper, kind of. Maybe there
anyone
is
on the
something.
ship have one?
Maybe there's something like that at the market that we could get our hands on. I don't know if it would need to be a forger's kit exactly. I would imagine just a decent pen and paper.
Yeah, there's a forger's kit would do the job. The reason I suggested it is because it's more likely that a party like yours was had such.
I
But
tried getting
there
one
are
once, but they didn't
dedicated-
have it.
There are dedicated tools for the purposes of writing things down, and they are referred to as scribes.
Oh, I
was
thought it
gonna
was a
suggest,
calligraphy set.
Wouldn't the captain have like cartographer tools? Wouldn't that work?
Cartography kits. A cartography kit would also work. At the very least, it would contain the necessary pen and some form of paper, but it wouldn't be ideal.
In that time, I'm assuming that we've already spent a few days on the boats or something, right?
Yes, the party is going to be spending at least a week on this boat, making a journey to head Tiefling markets. If anybody wishes to do
yeah.
anything during that time,
I would like to go up to Kiki and apologize for the incident in the tent.
It's okay. I'm sure the Lord will forgive you if you devote your life to him.
and let me just point something out, by the way. The party is currently being considered guests aboard this vessel. For the most part, you won't be asked to do anything effectively. Being given, for the most part, the run of the boat to do as you please, so long as you don't get in anybody's way.
I mean, we're here rather than just sitting around and watching the ocean. Would the captain object to giving us some training and letting us chip in with the crew?
I wish to get Grigori alone because CD wants to speak with him privately.
Okay.
Well, to answer your question, Kiki, the captain, he would be reluctant to start handing out jobs, but if you want to go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Let's do that.
Oh, wait. What did I?
With a 12, I would say he's reluctant to, but he will say that if you happen to spot anybody not doing anything much and you just want to make yourself useful, if you want to ask a member of the crew, it'll be up to the individual crew member whether or not they want to take anybody in particular under their wing.
Would I also be able to just sit back and listen to how they speak to each other, the mannerisms and stuff, in this time?
Yeah. The crew, by the way, is it actually has a bit of a mix of it. It's predominantly human and tiefling, but there does appear to be at least 2 elves on the boat.
Did you
One of
say
which
elves
is
or was it half elves? Because I wasn't sure about that last session.
they appear to be fully blooded elves. None of those
Weird.
half breeds on this boat, it seems.
Mr. Spuck, I'm sick and tired of your half-breed interference.
Yeah, let's. Yeah, I'm gonna essentially find myself a deckhand. I'm assuming on this. It's 2 masts, yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 masts, 2 decks, and a crew of about 10-ish.
So everyone's kind of going to be doing every job apart from the helmsman, who's going to be doing his own job, right?
Yeah, each of the crew, from what you've been able to tell, seems to have primary responsibilities and secondary responsibilities. But the secondary responsibilities are pretty much whatever anybody isn't currently doing.
Okay. What primary responsibilities are there on this boat?
Well, there's the helmsman.
Mhm.
The captain himself is basically just overviewing, not really doing a whole lot, but he's kind of like the charismatic face of the ship, if you will. He's the one that convinces other people to hire the boat for the purposes of actually doing jobs. He's
Was the helmsman the lady that we spoke to that they spoke to last time?
no, that was the quartermaster.
Oh,
The
okay,
lady.
okay.
She's the one who's in charge of making sure that the boat is properly stocked and supplied. Everybody's given the necessary rations to be able to survive any given trip. Your party, by the way, has been expected to supply your own things, which you would have been able to do relatively, I would imagine.
I will spend a deal of time, whilst I'm not reading the Bible and watching people and trying to sort of work out what they're doing, basically clowning about and doing things like running up the mast, and other such sort of clownish behaviour that seemed to be almost impossible, and generally sort of tumbling and trying to gain a little bit of favour with people as someone that's fun to have around.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn how this boat operates. Essentially, if anyone will take me under their wing, I'll learn from them.
I seem to
But
be able to run vertically up surfaces for an entire movement, which would,
yeah,
in theory, give me 50 foot of vertical climb straight up a mast if I wanted to run up one, according to what I'm reading there.
You could run straight up to the crow's nest if you wanted to.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Which would certainly surprise the guy who sits in the crow's nest as you suddenly appear next to him.
I could sort of run up, offer him a drink, and go, "All right, mate.
Cheers.
Sleeping well," and then run back down again, kind of thing. Generally, be a,
I'm going to say roll a stealth check.
A stealth check. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm only that good at stealth.
I see. Well, the thing about the crow's nest is that the boy who is sitting at the top, who is, by the way, he looks to be in his maybe early teens. As soon as you appear at the top of him, he immediately screams, "Oh, bloody hell!" As you evidently scare him shitless. Appearing and asking him if he wants a drink.
It's okay. I'm going to be doing this regularly until he's more alert.
Yeah. You get the impression that he has been hired on to the position of the crow's nest for 2 main reasons. First of all, because it needs to be filled and is handy to have somebody up there for the purposes of watching out for untoward activity or rocks and things of that nature. Secondly, he's up there to keep him out of the way of the rest of them.
I mean, I'll make it explicitly clear for the sake of avoiding any misunderstandings. I am essentially going to try and learn how the ship works to see whether or not our party would be able to crew it should we overpower the crew.
I would say give me a general intelligence check, unless you have a more appropriate skill. And if you do have a more appropriate skill, you can have advantage.
Can I jump in on that with wisdom? Maybe?
No, knowing how to crew a ship it's something that is definitely more intelligence based than wisdom based.
Fair enough. I don't have much in the way of intelligence. I only have an 11.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to wish for the best.
Damn. Okay. Well done, Garen. I'll.
Why intelligence saves? I said intelligence check.
I'm
Isn't
sorry.
it the same thing?
No.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Well, Kiki already did an
you
intelligence.
know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Kiki already did intelligence, but fuck it, because oh Christ. Okay. You know what? All of these rolls, I'm not counting the saves, but I am counting the actual intelligence checks.
So are you giving her the nat 20 or the 3?
I'm going to say that Grace initially isn't able to wrap her head around the idea of each person having a job. As far as she's concerned, everybody, the only jobs necessary for running a boat should be the ability to swing a sword for when you eventually get into battle. However, CD is able to actually explain to her the details of all of this information, as he, working in the port city of Ulrigberg for a decent chunk of life, will have familiarized himself with the approximate details of how a boat works.
It wasn't he mostly a fluffer in that. Anyway.
I will call on a giant octopus and drown the ship. Do not test me.
He will call upon the might of Allah to strike you down.
Mm.
I have a record with blowing ships.
He does.
Uh-huh.
Oh no!
I feel you
Oh,
dropped a word
no.
there.
Record of blowing.
Poor choice of words. Wow.
I have a record of blowing.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Anyway, let's carry on.
I believe Chase wanted to do something. Sorry, I believe Chase. I believe CD wanted to do something with Grigora.
Yeah, he wanted.
Speaking of
to,
blowing.
Does it involve blowing ships?
He wanted to talk.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Okay.
Before we get off the subject, thanks to the wisdom of CD, Grace, you are able to get an idea as to the necessary crew requirements for the process of sorting out everything on this ship. And between the various natural skills of the various people on the ship, you get the impression that, yeah, it might be a bit of work, and you'd probably have to get a bit of specifics and training from a couple of crew in the event of taking the ship over by a mutant. You're fairly confident that your party could man a ship of this size and effectively crew it.
Okay.
Have you told us this is your plan?
I mean, I'm going to seek to get that knowledge, and I am going to share that plan with the party.
Okay. This is just in case a storm hits and all of the current crew are washed overboard by some freak accident, yes?
Yes, or if we feel like we might be able to better afford this ship with steel.
Ah.
But yes, in either case, CD.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you wanted to speak to Grigori about something.
Yeah. When we are in a private location, Grigori closes the door behind him and leans onto it, asking. CD closes the door behind him and leans onto it. Looking at Grigori, he asks
Seductively.
"Oh, shut the fuck up. So, we're riding on a boat to Urugberg, my old hometown. What is the plan exactly? Or at least, what is your plan exactly?
I honestly, I do not know if we're gonna reach Ulrich.
You
At this
plan
point,
on.
if if anything were to happen, it would be inside this territory. But I mean, you were there. I think that she may have gotten one or two screws loose ever since coming back from from well,
The other word, I understand. That was also something I was planning on talking to you about. I don't know what long-term plan you have, and I basically don't know anything of you. You have done that by design, I assume. But to be fully honest with you, I plan on making sure that the orcs in Origberg regret making me their making me do the have the things I did there. So I need power, whether manpower or actual literal power. And Grace, while powerful in with a blade, she is detrimental, so to speak.
she is a very loose cannon at the moment, and if not guided in a specific direction, she may cause a serious uproar by continuously desecrating churches here.
She is one of the main reasons why I got you in here in private. Do you perhaps have how should I say it, a plan to deal with her?
I had some things I would thought of. However, I'm not sure I can pull enough strings to have that happening so soon. At the
Well,
moment, the only thing I can say is that once we reach land, I plan on at least sending a few messages out so that people know what happened and that the correct story is going out.
if you ever have a plan that requires something within my expertise, just tell me, and I'll make sure it happens. Because while I appreciate her strength,
I do
make
not much appreciate everything else.
yes. So, one other thing I was going to ask you about. Since we have, well, basically lost the edge of reality to Mars, what are we going to plan on doing with the temple you've dreamt about, so to speak?
I still want to visit it. I still want to go there. It's still a thing that I want to do. However, we're currently on the other side of the world. And I also have other business in Stradivania I need to to take care of. So at this point, I whatever seems like most convenient, and I guess if we manage to get all the way to Ulreberg, then and then still then the still the plan of going to the giant forest and going to that temple is still something that I would like to do. Just because I do not have that knife doesn't mean that I don't want to see what's out there.
Yeah,
I do. I definitely plan on getting back that knife, although
you
I
don't
don't
know how
know.
exactly.
That's a bridge we'll burn when we get to it.
We will burn that bridge. I also plan on following you to that temple. I don't know why exactly, but I have a feeling we wouldn't regret going there, even if the way there is filled with some things that I really don't want to return to. God, my fucking tribe is gonna butcher me.
Perhaps you're lucky enough that you don't see them. I don't know. You druids are a weird bunch.
That we are. That we are. Come on, let's get back out there before Grace starts spreading rumors about us doing some shit in here.
I put a hand on CD's shoulder and I just say it's good to trust to be able to trust somebody.
Tell me about
Just don't blow me up this time.
it. Yeah, CD laughs and then, well, it's good to have someone in here who is also not insane. And yeah, he opens the door and exits, going back as if nothing happened.
So, as the pair of you exit the ship's latrine, one of the sailors walks past you and just gives a raised eyebrow, but a knowing nod.
Okay, is he wearing any metal on him?
There appears to be a key ring on him, but aside from that, no.
Ah, damn. Right. If he was wearing a ring or something like that.
If I'll with my where is it? Thief can't. I'll just say something like it's a nice day for what is it? Just something generic of how do you do? But I mean, this is better kept quiet.
Right. And he looks back at you, says, "Yeah, it is a nice day." You get the distinct impression that he doesn't speak thieves' cant.
That's fine.
But in either case, assuming there's nothing that anybody wants to do during this specific day that CD and Grigori had this conversation, there is something that I'd like to go through with Grigori specifically.
Okay.
So, as I've said in the past, this is a multi-day journey that you're making towards Tiefling Market, and by the time you have gotten most of the way across this bay, the the weather is oddly calm. Very little in the way of winds. Even only the slightest of breezes coming in from the east. And no, I mean west, not east. And there is a relatively clear night with only the odd wisp of cloud. And as each of you are going to sleep, Grigori, you, as you usually would, initially decide to stay up for some of the night, reading books, so on and so forth, safe in the knowledge that you're still in waters that are well protected by the anti-piracy measures that Stradivania goes through as part of its aspect of the Fire Iron Conqueror, for eventually going into the meditative stance that all elves like to take, as opposed to sleeping as other mortals tend to do. And unlike most of the time when you go into one of these meditative stances for the night, you instead find yourself being whisked into a dream that is simultaneously familiar and yet odd. Familiar that you recognize it, odd that Well, it's nowhere in particular. Upon closing your eyes and beginning the meditation, you find yourself immediately undergoing a feeling of transition. Upon opening your eyes, not even a second later, you find your consciousness sitting in the meditative stance, but now your eyes look out upon a seemingly infinite expanse. There are a variety of stars dotting in all directions, above and below, with you seemingly suspended in. Well, this isn't something that Gory would recognize. Stars in all directions, otherwise surrounded by a greyish, almost nebula-like cloud. There's ever so slight hint of purple to the infinite expanses of various dust-like surroundings. But ultimately, it's a bizarre situation to find yourself, Gory. As you look around, there doesn't appear to be anything in particular. What do you do?
I'm just currently just staring out. This does not feel. It somehow feels familiar, but this is not something I've experienced before.
Exactly. You've never experienced anything like this before, and yet there is almost as if you are experiencing deja vu.
I somehow get the feeling that I don't know why, but it feels like something reminiscent of the last time I meditated and I met with the elf that told me to go to the temple. But on the other hand, that wasn't like this. That was just in a completely wide open space.
Indeed, it was.
This feels
As
this is
you think to yourself, this has some degree of similarity to that, you immediately hear behind, coming from out of your range of sight, a voice, almost finishing the thoughts for you. Yes, it is. I can see why you would make that assumption, that mental link. And as you turn around to face the source of the voice, you see, in a meditative stance, exactly the same way as you saw him the last time, the same dark-skinned, elderly-looking individual who you suspect maybe wood elf, perhaps.
how did I get here? Where are we?
Oh, this is the Astral Sea, he says, looking around, gesturing to the various points around of nothing in particular.
Do I
It is
know what the
pretty.
astral sea is?
Give me an Arcana check or a History check. Well, with an 11, I would say it's something that you've heard of, but you can't put a finger on it. Ring some bells, though. You probably learned about it in some very many years ago in your studies.
How come we're not drowning?
Ah, no. It is not an actual sea. You see? It is like a sea of stars.
So that's how it looks out there. This is
Ah, if you think about it, if you were to go up for a very long time to the point where when you turned around to look from where you came from, no matter how big the place you came from, you still would not be able to see it. You would be in a place very similar to the Astral Sea, but not quite.
It's so massive.
Yes and no. It's something that we could discuss for many, many years. But for now, I have invited you here for one reason and one reason alone. I believe you dropped this. And you see, seemingly pulling the knife out of nowhere, like a magician pulling a card from his sleeve, you see the edge of reality appear in the man's hand.
How did you get that?
I found it.
Don't tell me that Mars threw it away. How?
Who?
Mars, the god that I had to give this knife to.
I do not know who you speak of. I felt one day as though there was something missing. I went to see it and found this. Simply abandoned.
Grigore just stares at it like, oh, this cannot be happening. Is this really happening?
Did you give it to someone? Or is it yours?
It is mine.
Well then, don't lose it again, he says. And as he says this, you blink and notice that the knife is no longer in his hands. And as you put two and two together, you look down into the usual spot, the open metal ring that you would normally put the knife through due to it not having its own scabbard. And you see it hanging from your belt in its usual home.
How can I thank you? I've been trying to think of a way to get this back.
Oh, do not thank me. Instead, how about I teach you how it works?
I would love nothing more than that.
Very well. Come here, he says with a gesture of his hand. What do you do in response?
I'm still in the meditation position, right? Or am I just standing there?
You could still be in the meditation position if you want, but as you
I'll get out of to get closer to him.
as you attempt to stand, you notice that the pressure that you would usually feel in the sitting position is no longer there, and the moment you go to leave the meditative stance, whatever physical restrictions you were relying on to hold your body in that position are suddenly absent, and you feel as though you are floating in a air-filled vastness of water, weightless.
I fumble around a bit to get. Do I am I able to like gain my balance or anything, or am I just floating in
There's
what would
no
be zero
balance
gravity?
hand. It's like if you've ever been subjected to the flight spell, there doesn't seem to be any kind of ability to get a grasp on a floor to propel yourself forwards or anything. effect. And after a while of you fumbling and eventually assuming a more, okay, let's try swimming kind of approach, you hear a light, stifled giggle of sorts coming from the old man. Something that comes out to the effect of, you do not know how this place works, do you?
No.
Okay. If you wish to come to me, you must will it to be so.
Okay.
He then just proceeds to sit there in his current cross-legged stance, which from your perspective is probably at least some degree of upside down by now, and seemingly sits there waiting and looking in your direction, expecting.
I'll just stop struggling around trying to swim, and what I'll attempt to do is just get back into my meditational stance, just close my eyes, and thinking of moving closer.
As you do so, you close your eyes and think for a moment, and about 2 seconds later, you hear the man's face. You might hear the man's voice again, this time saying, "Aha! Appears as though you are learning. It is very good." And
It worked.
as you open your eyes, you see you're now only just a couple of feet away from.
It actually worked.
Indeed, it did. But I might recommend next time you do it with your eyes open.
I'll keep that in mind.
Now, to teach you how to use the knife. It is a wonderful little device. I have used it for many years myself. And I suspect that you already know how to use it. Only you have not quite figured out the right way to use it. Tell me, what are your thoughts?
Is it like how I moved here?
It is?
I tried. Uh, I tried something similar to this, but I tried making tried making a doorway like this, but using the knife, but nothing happened. And after that, I that
You are
that
close. But close is not there. I shall tell you, for I believe we are running out of time. To use the knife, you must think of the place where you want to. The precise location. You can go to places where you don't know where to get to, but that tends not to work too well. It's much better if you go to a place that you have been to before and you know it. Then, with the intent and the will, you take the knife and with one simple flick of the wrist, you swipe a hole through to the location that you want to be. One cut, and you're there. Would you like me to show you?
yes.
Very well. Keep a close eye. And you see he leaves his meditative stance, and you see him once again pull the knife seemingly out of nowhere. Once again, you check down in your belt and you realize it's gone. And you see as he closes his eyes for a moment, taking the knife and holding it between 2 fingers and his thumb, before doing a very light swish of the blade, as if it were like a paintbrush. Make a perception check for me. So that's high enough for you to be able to spot a very interesting key detail in that as he does this, he seemingly cuts it with the false edge of the blade. The edge that looks as though it appears to be made up of a window to a night sky. Which, now that you mention it, you look around, surrounded by a night sky on all sides. Before you realize, connecting the dots together like constellations in the night sky, you look back at the former owner of this blade and realize that he's nowhere to be seen. You take a quick look around, and then, after doing a 360 of the surrounding environment, you spot him behind you, about 30 feet away, and he says, "And that is how you use the edge of reality."
I just stare for a second, realizing, just thinking myself, wow, I am an idiot. It was so close.
You were very close.
Thank you for
There's a
showing
certain
me.
technique. I think you will.
What did you say, Ginger?
There is a certain technique. I think you will agree.
Yes.
And the knife is very exact about that. Anyway, I believe you have to be going now. Here. And you see he takes the blade, positions it in such a way that it's pointing directly towards you, and with the palm of his hand, pushes it forward. Only as he does so, his hand seemingly phases through the knife, causing it to vanish. And once again, you look down at your belt loop and realize that it's not there. Hang on, it's not there. You take a quick look around and realize that it's now just hovering there directly in front of you, easily within the range of your grasp.
I'm going to grab it.
And as you do so, you reach forward and grab the blade, and close your eyes instinctively as if to blink. And upon opening your eyes again, you realize that you are once again sitting in the meditative position. Your right hand extended, the edge of reality within your grasp. On a boat. Presumably, with a very puzzled-looking member of your party who, as far as they are concerned, has just witnessed Grigori reach out and pluck the edge of reality out of thin air. Anybody who wants to have seen this take place, feel free to say so.
I'd like to have a shot at seeing that happen.
I'll
Do I
just
see this?
whisper. I'll just whisper with a slight smile. Thank you.
Probably didn't, though, because my perception rolls are always fucking awful.
Mine's a little bit better.
Yeah, I'd say Garrow is probably the first to spot that. But Chase, why don't you go ahead and give us
By the way, Ginge, did you get my DM?
It's dark and people just woke up or are still sleeping.
I did get your DM, and I would say that I would say sure you can have achieved what you were aiming for there.
Good.
But yes, the rest of you would be woken by the sudden bout of conversation that's just taken place. But Garrow, you're the only one who saw. You're the only one who saw Grigori seemingly fabricate the edge of reality, thin air in the palm of his hand, in his sleep, no less.
So he's sitting on the other side of the boat from me. I was just doing, practicing the star charting stuff I learned. And what do I see? Does he just like spontaneously stand up and reach into the air?
No, he would have gone from in his usual hands on knees, cross-legged, sitting meditative stance that you are familiar with Grigori entering into during the time when others would usually sleep. And from the corner of your eye, you would just see him slowly reach up with his right hand, grab on to seemingly nothing in particular, and then the knife apparate within his grasp. Him then opening his eyes and seeing the knife in his hand.
I'll smile upon seeing this, and then casually make my way over to where he is and gently pat him on the shoulder and say, I see you got your little toy back. Well done.
I just give a slight smile to Garrow, but in thought also to the man, to the elf that helped me with this. Thank you.
Tell me, was that just a one-off trick, or do you know how to do that more often now?
I have no clue. What I'll tell you one thing though. I am not letting go of this knife again.
That's not bad. Maybe you should and Garrow will pull a small piece of cord out of his pack.
I was thinking of making a lanyard as well.
He's literally gonna, unless you move away from him, he's basically gonna let you still holding the knife, tie it to the end of the pommel, and tie the other end of the cord to your belt. What do you think? May help you keep hold of it and maybe not give it to weird archangels in the future. Just a thought.
At this point, I'm just I'm happy enough to just grin at it like, huh. That's maybe not a bad idea.
Garrow's just generally happy for you. He knows how bummed out you are that you lost this thing.
So, this knife is going to be hung around his neck by the pommel, yeah?
No, by his
No,
belt.
no. I'm putting it back where I used to keep it before.
I was going to say, be careful that when that thing swings, it doesn't nick your leg and chop it off.
I assume he had a what's the word for it? God damn it! A sheath for it on his belt.
Yeah.
No, the knife never came with a sheath.
No, but I can. I mean, at this point, I can. At this point in the traveling, I can just assume that I got one. Otherwise, I will get one when we get into the market.
CD just grabs whatever is closest to him, throws it at whoever is making the biggest amount of noise, and tells them to shut up. I'm trying to sleep here.
Can that be me? And can I cut it with my knife?
Sure, go for it.
What do I need to do for that, Ginge?
Sorry, what exactly is happening?
CD just grumples in his sleep, grabs whatever the closest to him, be it a pillow or cup or whatever else, and
this is CD. He probably picks up a
rat.
He probably pulls out of his pocket some nutshell.
A spider. Oh,
that has been left in his pocket by Tatui.
so he picks out a what?
A nutshell.
A nutshell. Fair enough.
A shell
Okay.
nut.
He picks out a nutshell left by Tatui, throws it, and tells them to shut up. I'm trying to sleep here.
I'm gonna attempt to cut it.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll. I would say you slice the nutshell in twain.
I just smile.
Also, feel free to bump up the magic rating on that dagger to a +2.
All right.
So what?
Will
So
do
what-
so.
Hmm?
I will do so.
All right. Yes, unless there's anything else anybody would like to do, we will move on to the party having arrived in the Tiefling markets some days later.
Fantastic.
Sorry, what was that?
We've got to the markets in the Tiefling markets.
In that time, have we learnt to operate the ship?
I would say you have a good idea of it, and between your enthusiasm and what is evidently CD having some knowledge of how small trading vessels work, you get the impression that your party would probably be able to crew this ship in an emergency. Although it's almost inevitable due to his existent knowledge base that CD would end up captain of the ship of the vessel.
I disagree. We should go with the most gentlemanly person to be the officer.
You don't even know how to run a ship. At the very least, CD has experience with that stuff.
He knows how to navigate. That's
Then
good
you're
enough for
going
being
to
a
be the
captain.
navigator.
There's a difference between the captain and the helmsman.
Yes, a big
No,
difference.
he's not the helmsman. No, he'll plot the course.
There have been many, many people who rose to great naval consequence that were bought a boat, put as captain, and were given a capable crew.
Now,
I believe Admiral Nelson was one of those people, amongst
Yeah.
many other.
if I may briefly propose, right, as someone who is of a boating persuasion, right,
Yes, you are a
I-
boat witch.
I brought. Where did the witch come from? I brought Trig onto my boat as
Oh, I
someone
get
who
it.
does not know how to operate a boat.
Hmm?
And it took him. How long did it take you to learn how to operate my boat?
Your boat, not long. If we were actually talking about raising the mast and the rigging, I haven't gotten to that bit yet because you don't have one. But in terms of, turn rudder, and turn left and turn rudder other way to turn right, and generally throttle up and down to go faster or slower, about 20 minutes at most. There's going to be an awful lot more of, maybe not using full power when docking. Details, but also perhaps using full power when trying to pull a big fat U-turn. It's not amazingly difficult.
Yeah, I would propose that operating
day.
a boat is not actually a particularly challenging thing. It's more the strength and endurance required.
Which Garrow has in abundance.
But yes, in either case, between the party as a whole, you have you do have a viable, necessarily proficient, viable boat.
Well, while we are at the Tiefling markets, then I will make my proposal to. Sorry.
Speaking of, by the way, once you've finished talking, I will give you a descriptor of what it's like as you come into the Tiefling markets.
Yes, please.
I guess if Kiki's finished then.
Thought you were telling me to shut up. So I muted.
I was telling you to finish what you were saying, and then I would continue. But if you're finished, then you're finished. So, as the party is traveling along, they make their way up to the front bow, and they are able to see this multicolored sea begin to come into ahead of them. It's somewhat reminiscent of the various colors of flower fields that surround the small town of Lavender. But as you make your way there, you realize that those are not flowers. Those are various multicolored tents. Bright reds, yellows, pinks, purples, all sorts of colours, with a bit of a disappointing lack of green now that I mention it, but no, that's what the trees are for. Of which there are a fair few dotted around here and there, providing shade to an otherwise rather area of land. You see that there really isn't much in the way of visible, visible brickwork structures, with what little masonry has happened having been covered over these various decorative cloths and such. It's all marvelous and seemingly goes on for as far as the eyes can see. This sea of tents, by the way, it surrounds the river quite thoroughly. And as the party is making their way up said river, they are able to tell that the ship is effectively having to navigate its way through nautical equivalent of a traffic jam, as there is not only a variety of vessels attempting to make their way up and down this somewhat broad river, but there is also a variety of smaller vessels seemingly going to and from, ferrying people, goods, so on and so forth, all manner of beasts and burdens across the water. Probably the most interesting aspect to this, of course, being that at least a decent chunk of these ferry boats appear to be food boats, as there is the distinct and enticing smell of a variety of foodstuffs currently able to smell wafting in from all sorts of dock or currently traveling water vessels. Enough to make even just hardy mouths water. But as the party continues traveling the river, you notice something else. The river seemingly widens out at a certain point, almost forming what you might consider to be a small lake, and having a variety of floating pontoons, it looks like, of a variety of heights, all extending out into the lake itself, which due to the various shoutings and commands being given out by the captain, you're able to see is being slowly maneuvered towards one of said pontoons.
Okay, so
It
most
isn't
of this
long.
market is on the water.
Virtually all of the market is on the water, at least all the market that you can see from the water.
Huh.
You suppose it probably goes on for a lot longer. If anybody makes the effort of climbing up in the crow's nest, they'll be able to report to the rest of the party that it seemingly goes on for some distance. You would guess this place to have roughly. You would guess that this particular tiefling market to have about as much land area covered as maybe half of Verdenfell. it easily matches Lavendel in terms of the amount of influenced land, and probably has a population somewhere similar to a major city.
Hmm.
That's an impressive amount of markets.
It is. I will run up to the crow's nest to get a better look.
Yeah, I would like to as well.
Well, Groose can just simply run up there using his monk, but I'm going to have to ask for either an athletics check or an acrobatics check for Grigori. Grigori makes it up only a couple of seconds after Groose arrives at the crow's nest, with the now somewhat packed little basket up at the top of the main mast.
Oh, I don't mind hanging off of it. I just no, yeah.
CD looks up to them, laughs to himself, and says, "Casuals." Jumps off the side of the ship, turns midair into a bird, and flies higher up above them.
Well, in that case, the only people who don't get a good view of the surrounding area in that case are Garrow and Grace.
Are you turning into some creepy mechanical bird in front of everyone?
Yes. Do you remember the giant eagle?
Oh no.
You turn into a giant eagle.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Can he?
Why
Can
can't
you
you
make
just
him
be
roll to make sure he
normal?
doesn't get tangled in the rigging?
He did say
I'm going to say that there is enough distance between here and there's enough distance around the boat that he doesn't get tangled up in the rigging. But I will say, roll me roll me 3 D100s.
3D100s?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here it goes. Oh god.
The rest of the party would guess that that is approximately the number of gasps and otherwise shocked individuals pointing in the direction of CD as he transforms into what can best be described as a flying pile of scrapped buildings as he soars up into the air, probably raining down a few roof tiles and slates down into the water below.
Yeah, as I described it before, basically the bottom of the bird is made out of stone, with his legs being like scrap formed in the rough shape of a claw, and his wings are basically these roofing tiles that move around and somehow propel him up above the air.
Are you basically an upside down house moving castle?
Now, okay, the way to think about it is imagine a giant eagle, except the legs are made of vaguely rusted harpoon material. The beak and head is made up of various pieces of woodwork and mechanics, but anywhere where there would usually be a feather, there is instead slate roofing tiles.
How heavy is this giant eagle?
Very.
I'm just gonna
Because there's a certain matter of physics that we're not including.
Hey, Trig,
Uh-huh.
you ever heard the phrase "flew like a rock"?
Yeah, I was going to say you're going to come crashing down if you're as heavy as I think you are.
Okay.
As both Grigor and I look at it, I'm just gonna mutter, "Why can't he just be normal?"
There's a reason why birds have hollow bones.
Why can't
I'm
he
just
just
going to
be
say
normal?
that.
Even
Maybe they're hollow pipes.
understanding of physics and aerodynamics would be baffled at the
may-
fact that this thing flies.
Maybe he's full of hydrogen.
Mm.
That would make him fly. I mean, can we rename CD the Hindenburg?
In either case, CD, you have just made yourself the greatest spectacle of the day within this region, and you know it. There are many eyes on you right now, and you swear you hear just a couple of terrified screams.
Did I see? Did I see CD transform? Let's find out.
Everybody saw CD transform.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's okay.
According to CD, he jumped off of the side of the boat and then transformed.
Yes. Yeah.
How much
So-
forward momentum did you
So
before you
So
turned
Maybe,
to
you-
a
maybe it's
giant
like
bird-shaped rock?
Maybe it's one of the-
maybe it works like planes on an aircraft carrier. It's got
Yeah.
a big elastic band behind him.
Trig,
So we
I
just
hope
saw-
so.
Trig, maybe he's one of those giant stone mason water birds.
Mm.
So we just saw this giant. So we saw CD disappear, and we saw this giant bird made of stone that we've only seen once before, but seemed
Yes,
hostile
Kiki,
to us.
you did met this bird once before.
I
And,
did meet a giant eagle before.
yeah, we did.
Grace,
We did. That's literally
Yeah.
one of the first sessions where we
Yeah.
started shooting at you.
As a matter of fact, the ginger even after that, because of how I hunted the rabbits, made for me an attack. It's called the plunging strike. It's 1d20 plus 5 to hit, and upon hit, I deal 1d12 piercing damage and 1d12 bludgeoning damage. But to use this attack, I must be first at the height. I must descend at 20 feet height.
Hmm.
Well, giant
20
eagle,
feet.
right? Has just appeared in the sky. How hostile does this thing look? How scary, evil, demon-esque does this thing appear, Ginge?
it looks well. Let's be honest. It looks like a horrific amalgamation of demonic energy and basically the twisted nightmares of Greenpeace.
It's something from H.R. Geiger.
Okay, is it
Yeah.
within?
But
1 second, someone's at the door.
Is it
Very
within
good thing
30
to say.
feet?
Grace knows that this creature is seeded.
Why?
Even if you
Because
know
knew
who it is,
already.
it's still an unholy behemoth. I don't think your god would take kindly to it.
Well, Grace knows that this creature is seedy. If Grace wants to ignore that fact, it's entirely up to Kiki.
What does your Bible say about this? Is this
Yeah.
a prophecy or an omen?
Hmm.
I think that's up to interpretation.
How do tieflings take to the sight of demons flying around? Seeing as they are kind of refugees,
Just like home.
refugees from the demon realm.
This is just like home.
Yes, and they hated
Well-
home. That's what I'm thinking.
They're not.
I'm back. What did you describe when I was gone?
Well, Kiki just asked if something, and Jin said if that Grace knows that bird flying in the sky is you.
You know what? I
And-
also
and
know
then-
that when it transforms back, it just turns back into CD. It doesn't actually die when we kill it, right?
That's
So
how high you kill it. Whether it's
Depends how much damage you do to it.
yeah, so
Depends on how
Let's-
hard you kill it.
Yeah,
yeah, let's
if you kill it whilst it's in the air and it transforms and then he plummets
Is
a
it-
couple hundred feet.
is it within 30 feet?
Honestly,
No,
honestly,
I
I see
am
this as a
above
very
that.
funny prank for someone to play on a party member. They're flying over water, suddenly get rid of their flying ability.
Does it pass me within 30 feet?
I jumped on.
At the very first instance of transformation, yes, it would be within 30 feet of Grace.
Okay, at that point, can I strike it?
What?
Yes, you can, but only with a ranged attack, not with melee.
Can I strike it with a rising strike?
Yes, but you know that doing so will cause collateral damage to the ship that you are currently standing on. Because
There are
remember,
many ships. This is acceptable.
Oh my fucking
What-
god! You're actually doing this. Why?
Right, let's do a
Kiki, how many battles does your How many battles does what did I call it again? The Rising Dawn?
Yeah, none. But you did say that I could activate it for a number of turns equal to a sacrificed spell slot.
That is true. That is true.
So
So
I will.
your spell slot to manifest the blade, are you?
Yes, I'm going to. I'm going to activate the blade. I am going to blinding smite it,
Oh my fucking god, you're actually going with this?
Mm-hmm.
and I am going to rising strike with a level 3 smite, which is, I believe, an extra 68. Hang on.
Yeah, it's an extra 68. It's 1d8 fire and 1d8 radiant for every spell slot dumped into the Rising Strike.
Hmm.
Okay, so you unleash a blinding smite.
What's
So
that?
that is.
That is my HP.
Oh,
Nope.
Aha.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you need to do a DC on if she's able to hit you, so that damage could get halved, right?
Yeah, roll a Constitution saving throw there, Chase.
Ah, for fuck's sake.
And
Alright.
wouldn't he have some resistance to fire because he's made of stone and steel?
He would. His
Let me roll it.
do have inherent resistance to fire, I believe.
Let me. I'll check later.
No, wait, no. It was Gunnar's bot that had inherent resistance to fire due to the
Okay.
Firestone core, which
God
CD
damn it.
once had for a short time.
Well, it wasn't really CD anymore at that point.
No, it wasn't. But in either case, right, Chase. Is there any reason that you can think of as to why you having 24 health and Grace rolling more than that wouldn't result in CD immediately having his giant eagle form taken away?
No.
yeah,
My giant form is taken away.
this is 11. I'm just calculating this. 11 plus 2 1 plus.
Do we in the crow's nest see this by any chance?
You would absolutely see this. And once Kiki has finished figuring out whatever she's currently figuring out, I will give a cinematic descriptor of the events that just take place.
Okay, because if that's the case, I am gonna say to Gru's, holy shit, this is she is getting out of hand.
I recommend that you save that for after.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's fine. I'll wait with that until after the cinematic.
That is, I think, 31 radiant, 31 radiant damage and 23 fire damage, and you are blinded.
Well, in either case, let me just describe what happens. So, you burn a spell slot at level 1, I presume, in manifesting the blade. You then cast Blinding Smite on yourself as a bonus action, and then proceed to use your action to use the Rising Strike, dumping a 3rd level spell slot into it. You're dumping an awful lot of spell slots into this one attack.
Yeah, I mean, I've done this to CD before. I mean, this isn't a surprise. The last time he did this, he was on the floor, so I got to stab him. But this time he's at range, so I've got to do something projectile.
So what the rest of the party sees, what the rest of the entire area sees, is CD, upon seeing upon seeing two of his friends make their way up the central mast of the boat up to the crow's nest at high speed, proceeds to tut to himself and, in a very showy manner, sprints as fast as he can, gets a running jump off the side of the boat, and during the parabolic arc of falling, transforms into a gargantuan behemoth of flying steel and tile, which but a couple of seconds later is responded to by the gleaming paladin Grace, presumably shouting something out. What would Grace say in this exact scenario prior to making her attack? Go on, Kiki.
Right. Okay, so CD has run to the edge. He has seen people climbing. He's shouted amateurs, jumped off and turned into a horrific thing again. So
He's been in the airborne in this form for, I'm going to say, 3 seconds.
I'll just smirk, twist my blade in my hand, and slash it, projecting a beam from my rising smite up towards it and catching it in midair.
All right. What the rest of the party sees in that case is Grace pulls out the blazing dawn, sweeps vertically from above her head, down below her waist, and then up again, forming an almost complete circle as the length of the blade first extends out to its true full length, slashes into the ground of the ship, because that is what is necessary for the rising strike to occur, before a series of golden flaming pillars of blazing light begin to erupt from the actual ship itself. The first one blasts out of the ground, leaving a searing circle on the ground. No ignition happens, but it looks like somebody's just lit a campfire and let it burn out over the course of several hours on that spot. Another one erupts out of the deck of the ship. A third one erupts out of the surface of the water, each one jumping 30 feet into the air at its. Ultimately, one of these pillars comes screaming through the wing of the giant eagle, punching clean through it and showering the area in stony debris as an enormous hole is immediately punched in the wing of CD's giant eagle form. A giant eagle form which then immediately falls to the side in response to the sheer impact of this explosion of power, and instantly reverting CD back into human form. CD, you are conscious as you are forcefully reverted back to human form.
Where am I exactly? In the water or outside of it?
You are
you're blind.
above the water. You are currently above the water, flying horizontally at approximately 50 feet per second, but slowly falling back to the water's surface. I would say in this moment of consciousness before you hit the water, you have the opportunity to make a quick announcement as CD.
Okay. So wait, I am above the air, like above the air or above the water?
Currently, you're above the water, and you are about 20 feet above the water, and still have the momentum that you ran off the ship with, and the momentum of your flight speed from when you transformed into the giant eagle and took a couple of flaps to get some additional.
All right. CD just screams, "You fucking bitch!" And then he splash in the water. When he rises, when he awakes, not awakes, when he isn't blinded. How much damage did I take? 31.
Well, first of all, make another Constitution saving.
With my Constitution or the bird's Constitution?
Make
Okay.
a Constitution saving throw with the bird's Constitution.
With the birds.
First-
Then.
First Constitution saving throw is to see if you would take full damage or half damage from the rising strike. You rolled an 8, meaning you took full damage. You rolled
Okay.
a 7 this time, meaning you are now blind in the water.
Okay. That's it.
Means you don't know which way up is.
you
Been there.
definitely-
And how long does the
say-
blinded condition last?
minute.
A minute.
That's
I would
bullshit.
say
Even if you're
CD?
blinded, you know which way is up.
Yeah, you do have a pretty good idea of which way is up, even when you're underwater and blind.
Oh,
It's
I
just a
don't
matter
know.
of-
I've
It's
I've been
a matter of
underwater and
getting
knocked
bearings.
on the head, and I did not know which way up was for quite a while.
Okay. So, does
I'm
the
gonna
ship?
say, CD, make a wisdom saving throw. Getting a 10 or higher is what you need to be able to determine which way up it is.
Well, I have a +9 for wisdom, so unless I roll a literal fucking 1, thank God.
Takes
Okay.
you about 10 seconds, but the rest of the party, after a small time, if anybody is especially looking out for it, would see CD's head pop back up above the water's surface. He, as a druid, is a capable swimmer.
Okay, so 1 second. So I take for that 30 points of damage. So I have 47 hit points. Okay. I wait until my blindness cedes, if I'm allowed to.
I would like
And-
to call out while you're working on this blindness. Worry not, townsfolk. The one true God will save you.
And
That's what
okay, as soon as I stop being blinded, I absolutely have this murderous glare within my eyes. Now, I have a question, Ginger.
Yeah.
What type of sea creatures do I know?
What do you currently have on list?
Oh no, we're going the route of the Japanese.
Yeah.
Turns out he knows what a whale is.
No, I don't
Oh
know
wait,
what the
hang
whale
on.
is.
You
but-
know what a sea dragon is. There's one on the map.
Would I know, like a shark or a dolphin? I don't have it typing up on the list, but I presume since I already basically boarded a ship before, I would know that.
Hey, Chase.
See,
I've been
you're
on
familiar.
several boats in my life. I have never seen a shark in person.
Chase.
Sea creatures that
Octopus.
Chase, that CD would be familiar with would be the likes of things that you would expect to see in an aquarium. Small sharks, possibly an octopus, turtles, things of that nature. Things that
Oh! Can he be a clownfish?
He could be a clownfish.
Yes.
There's a
do that.
variety of creatures that exist that are known as decorative creatures for the particularly wealthy members of the Orcish Mafia Society, which CD likely would have seen in his time.
Okay, what is the most fastest creature? What would you say is the fastest swimming creature that I would know?
Penguin.
Probably the dogfish.
Dogfish.
The dogfish. Okay.
Isn't that a seal?
No, a dogfish
No.
is a small variety of shark that can grow between 1 to 2 feet at adult.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
And is, generally speaking, not a very dangerous creature, but they're pretty quick.
Okay. Would you mind telling me the speed stat of the dogfish? Like, basically, if I were to stat it, what creature should I search for?
Wolf.
Wolf, but in water?
Wolf, but it has a swim speed equal to its walking speed and no walking.
wolf, but equal to its swimming. So I have 40
Basically,
feet of speed.
take the wolf stat block, and replace walk with swim.
May I just interject that there is a minute before he is unblinded, and there's going to be a lot going off between everybody else before this happens.
He gets to make a Constitution saving throw each turn, which is the equivalent of 6 seconds. So, Chase, roll me a series of Constitution saving throws until you manage to roll a.
Do
14
we
or
get to
higher.
do anything during any of this time?
This is what I'm thinking. There's almost requires to be an initiative, so we get to know what each of us is doing in order whilst this is happening, because I've got a feeling this could turn into a gigantic bun fight fairly rapidly.
Yeah.
Let me just roll the Constitution with my own stat, right?
Yes, these are with these stats are with CD. Since
Okay.
these
One.
are in your human.
Okay, so it just takes 12 seconds for me to recover.
No, that'd be 18 seconds. That's just
What-
10
what-
seconds
3
worth of
turns.
stuff for other people.
Okay. Okay. In the meantime, does anybody have does anything?
Yeah, I'm basically both Bruce and I are just watching this from above, and
Yeah.
I'm just saying, what the fuck is happening? She's going crazy.
I don't know about crazy, but I do know
okay.
you were planning on betraying her.
Um,
I look at Grigori very seriously. I'm not particularly keen on that.
okay.
I'm sorry, what?
That's 20 seconds worth of conversation in the crow's nest.
Are you
One
denying?
Worth of
Are
conversation.
you denying that?
Well, before we get to that, Garrow and Grace, as all of this is happening, what are the pair of you two doing on the deck of the ship, surrounded by the majority of the ship's crew?
I think Garrow's gonna. You said 20 seconds, yeah?
Meow.
Garrow's probably
Worth of interaction
what?
in the immediate aftermath
Meow.
of
Sorry.
Kiki, Christ.
That was bloody loud.
Cat girl mode.
20 seconds worth of doing things.
All right.
after
He's gonna spend 4
Grace should have
seconds
died there.
just staring with his like in shock, followed up by about 6 seconds of what the fuck, and depending on her on Grace's response, he will either do something to go fish CD out of the water, which I'll make apparent if he does it, what he's going to do, or he will not do that, depending on what Grace says.
Okay. There would almost certainly be a unused coil of rope that Garrow could quite easily unwrap.
Not what he's intending to do. Don't worry, I have a plan.
Okay, fair enough.
Beast has been slain. And I'm sure CD will be fine. He's dealt with more than this before.
20 seconds have passed, and yeah.
Ginger, read DMs and reply to me in DMs, please.
He seems to be struggling quite a bit, doesn't he?
I'm gonna shout down. He was just attacked for being stupid.
Yes, I'm sure he'll learn from it.
That's
You know what, Grigori?
Okay,
Sorry, Theo.
so-
Would you do me a favour and roll persuasion on that? Because if depending on what you roll, Garrow's going to. Then why do you have to roll perfectly in the middle of the road? Now I have to think about this. You know what? I'm going to say
the
10.
same
Is
person
you
wouldn't
have
do that.
actually persuaded Garrow that yes, he did something stupid, got punished for it. That is actually CD in a nutshell. That's
yeah,
normal.
but this is a normal.
He got
punishment. This is
bisected
crazy.
last time, didn't he?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I
got
think he
stabbed
came out of
last
this a lot better.
He didn't get bisected, he got impaled. There's a very important difference there.
Yeah.
Details.
So it's a second.
Well,
So okay. The CD looks okay. So I presume the ship was moving at the meantime, right?
Not very quickly. It's probably travelled about 10 feet in the 30 or so seconds between you transforming into a bird and you recovering from your blindness and coming back to the surface of the water.
Okay. I swim to 60 feet, just like on the limit, 60, 50 feet away.
Okay, that would take you about 2 or 3 turns to achieve. So, whilst you're swimming out to that distance, what's everybody else on the boat doing?
Well, I'll reply back to Grues that Kiki has turned into a religious fanatic.
Are you
And then
denying that you're planning on betraying your friends? Religion aside, friends first.
I doubt that she's my friend anymore after she's tried to stab people multiple times, tried to attack us a few times,
In that case,
and you weren't there for that.
actually I was, but you didn't
No.
know it. And does 15 hit?
No, it doesn't.
If I add 3 to that, does 15 hit? Making it 19.
3 to that, it makes it 18.
18, sorry, yes, you're right.
It does.
Ability to add 3 to that.
I do, actually. Because I have this.
Oh god, the fucking fist. Oh wait, no, never mind. It's the key something.
Oh, actually, I can.
That's
I could
6.
add
Go up
6. So let's just add 4.
Okay, does a 19 hit you, Grigori?
Yes, it does. Let me check something. It does hit, but it only does half damage.
That's fine.
Take 4 bludgeoning damage.
And
I
make
knew
a
that was
DC
coming.
16 Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You
a
are
fail.
stunned until the next turn. There will be a further hit, and then I'm going to throw him from the crow's nest onto the deck.
Onto the deck or into the water?
Onto the
Before
deck.
before you go for the next series, before you make another punch, in the time that it took of that little bit of conversation following up with an attack from Bruce, what is happening with Garo and Kiki down on the deck?
If I may, Garrow would like to roll for initiative.
Same.
I
You know
feel
what?
this needs
Everyone should
initiative.
be fucking rolling for initiative at this
I
point.
think
Yeah,
this is-
I'm
it's-
rolling.
I did say that 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, everybody roll initiative.
I would have tied it to my token, but we don't have tokens out at the moment.
Yeah.
Pull your tokens out and just pop them anywhere on the map. Click them and then reselect the initiative value. Oh god, that's a full That's a full turn order. Right, time to empty that out a little bit.
We don't see it full. There it is.
That's admin stuff.
Uh,
What do I do? Just re-roll initiative or?
You need to click your token, re-roll it, and then change it to the value that you got initially.
yeah,
Yes.
Oh, I can do that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck's
you
sake.
just need
Actually, I
to
prefer my new initiative.
Well, it's going to be set back to whatever your first roll
That's
was.
all right. I know. Let me just change it. Cool. All right, every time someone changes theirs, it unselects my text box.
Yeah, I think one person just needs to do it.
18, 14.
This reminds me of the bag of holding a
Yes.
notepad. How many times did I edit that thing and someone typed something and it undid everything?
That's why we gave the job to one person. Unfortunately, it
Yeah.
ended up being me.
5, 3. Gregori's is a 16.2, which is actually correct.
Yeah, I managed to change mine.
In this time, actually,
13.2 is correct. Right.
no, that's fine, actually.
That is the current initiative values. So,
We're missing
moving on.
we're missing CD.
No, I'm not. I'm like down at the bottom. Wait, really? You're missing me? The fuck?
I don't see you.
You're not on the.
Oh, interesting.
You don't
Ah,
have
I
a
only
token on
see,
the
uh,
screen.
I only see 4 people.
Yeah.
Ah, there he is.
Yep, it's correct. Okay. So, it,
Alistair, by the way, I'm going to roll his initiative because he is, technically sticking around and mostly just thinking, what the fuck? But don't expect him to do much.
That's
So, are we going from the top of initiative or from where Groose is? Since he just did a thing.
just-
Well, we were about to cover what Garrow was doing, so let's go from there.
Okay. Is CD still human?
At the time that we have rolled initiative, CD is currently human, and with a perception check of sufficient value, you'll be able to see him currently putting some distance between himself and the deck of the ship.
He's swimming away.
He is. Roll perception check for me.
Sure, give me a sec. 18.
You're able to spot him, no problem. You can tell that he is. He seems to be quite a competent swimmer, and he is intentionally putting distance between himself and the ship.
Well, I was going to go rescue him, but if he's swimming away, I mean, how far is he in feet from the boat?
Currently, let's say 50 feet.
You know what? Sure. Let's at least get him on the deck. So, God, where is it? I have at 6th level when I have my storm up, I can move normal speed in water unimpeded. So I assume that means I can move 80 feet to go to him and grab him and bring him back to the boat. Is that fair?
Yeah. Basically, whenever you enter the water, it's almost like there is a natural current propelling you forwards.
Cool.
Assuming you're raging.
Yes, that is what I'm doing.
Okay.
I will subtract 1 rage. And yes, I am aware that the rage will end if I don't deal or receive damage before my next turn. But, I mean, 80 foot of movement should be enough to get him on the boat, right?
You could always slap yourself with a few bolts of lightning if you wanted to maintain the rage.
That's true, that happens. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's my turn.
Can you do full movement in water, or does that count as difficult terrain?
For
get
me,
full-
after I hit 6th level, I am unimpeded by water or strong winds.
Oh, neat.
can I, upon seeing him trying to go down to me, tell him?
Then, maybe. First,
Yeah?
roll me a
Okay.
Constitution saving throw. Okay, so
Does that mean I'm still stunned?
You're still stunned when you're well, actually,
It says I'm just stunned until the end of my turn.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but I didn't actually get half of my turn there.
Yeah. So we'll say you failed that Constitution saving throw, so you can't do anything until the next go around.
Well, I can do something.
Stunned until the end of your turn.
Well, I
believe
can
a
do
stunned
something.
creature can still move.
I can still speak.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna use my Misty Step to get away from Trig.
Can't cast spells, I don't
A
believe.
stunned creature is incapacitated, see the condition, can't move, and can speak only falteringly. automatically fails strength and dex saving throws, and attack rolls against the creature have advantage.
It says component is verbal.
Yes, but it's falteringly and
A stone
Okay.
creature incapacitated can't move and can speak. Falter. Creature.
I don't know what that means. Is it just I'm
Wait,
gibberish,
hang on,
or-
hang on. Slow down for a second. It's simpler than that. You're in the crow's nest at the moment, yes?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you're stunned. You're lying on the ground, the crow's nest. What can you see in 30 feet?
Here we go. I'm pasting it.
Where are you going to teleport to?
Oh, good point.
Basically, Grigori, you can't do anything because of the stun.
Okay.
Where is...
Kiki, you sent that to me instead of the team.
Don't worry, I also sent it to... Oh, you also
you
can't
also
take
send it to
actions
the-
or reactions.
So, we move on to Groose. Basically, Grigori is able to speak a few, probably incoherent babbling
Mhm.
towards you. But what do you do?
I'm going to throw him from the crow's. I'm going to do another stunning strike on him, and then I'm going to throw him from the crow's nest.
Okay, well, get off another punch on him first. That definitely hits. And since it has been his turn again, no, uncanny dodge requires a reaction, so no, that's the full damage.
Yep, and he can't beat the stun strike, so he's going to be stunned for the next turn. I'm just going to throw him from the crow's nest to the floor. How high is the crow's nest up?
I'm just going to say it's 30 feet. So, Grigori, roll a Constitution saving throw against the stunning strike. Yeah, that's definitely another fail. Really unfortunate. And anyway, so you are going to push him over the edge of the crow's nest down to the ground below.
That's the deck, yes.
I'm going to say make either just a plain strength check or an...
Doesn't matter.
or
He
an
fails them.
athletics.
He fails them anyway. But I'll do an acrobatics. I'm also
No,
gonna...
no. Grappling I'm talking about here. This is Groose physically hefting the mostly incapacitated, the lolling body of Grigori over the edge of the crow's nest.
Yeah, it's just a push. But yes. I can do a strength if you like.
Yeah, pretty much you would have had to have rolled a 1 for that to have not worked.
I'm also going to follow him down if I can with my movement, so I'm standing next to him.
Hey guys, silly question.
Do you catch
But
him?
would it be worth
You can.
transitioning to the boat map?
I'm not
Yeah,
going to catch him. No. I'm going to let him take the. I'm going to
You
let
know
it take the wind out of him.
That's actually a damn good idea there. And let's do... Yeah. Put your
Wait,
tokens on the map where you think they are appropriate.
Oh,
Crow's nest?
Turnover's died.
Which one is the
Top one.
which one?
The top one.
Oh,
You're all below deck, guys.
here we go. I'm
Yeah.
up top now.
Which one is the crow's nest on?
Crow's nest is on the front.
Which side has CD been thrown off of? Or birded off of?
I would say that is Chase's choice.
Well, since I was thrown away from here, I was hit while I was here. I guess I would be there. So I would be putting my token over here.
Okay. In which
All right.
case...
Imagine CD to be 50 feet in that direction. In fact, speaking of, I'm going to go ahead and shift the map a little bit to bring it down to here. And CD can be up here.
Alright, so
Presumably, Garrow is on the deck of the ship. Or
I thought my action was I dived in and use my sprint action to get to him and start bringing him back.
All right, so your movement is 40, right?
80 if I use sprint action.
All right. In that case, you could be right up next to him.
Well, I assume I went right up to next to him, so helping him back. So that's 30 feet towards the boat.
That's going to require not only him agreeing to it, but also it's going to require a action from you to actually grab a hold of him and start dragging him back.
Okay, fair enough. So I'll do that next turn.
But for now, I would say upon arriving, you would be able to say a quick couple of words to him.
Just before you say a couple of words to him, you see.
Wait. Isn't it my turn, not yours?
I'm just describing what you see as you
by the way,
approach.
the turn order's gone again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking gone as well. But it's just what you see as you're approaching. You see almost murderous gleam within CD's eyes.
So it's like looking at a really angry gerbil, right?
No, it's a human, so it would be
Oh, yeah,
looking at
sorry.
a really angry person.
Okay. It's honestly though, it's hard for someone to look intimidatingly angry when they're treading water. It's just throwing that out there.
So
I mean,
stop
yeah.
messing with the turn order. I have just taken a screen grab of the turn order and posted it in the chat. To peruse.
5.13.
Currently,
Someone fixed this.
Currently, the turn order looks like this for me, which is a tad fucked.
Yeah.
So
And the turn order's gone.
delete that.
Yeah,
Refer to-
he put the turn order.
We are currently on. Well, Garo, you
Yes.
switched
So
to CD, who very
yeah, I
clearly-
see a rather miffed druid, and understandably, he's just been dumped in the water. I just say to him, "Come on, let's get you back on the ship." Garo's not aware of what's happened in the crow's nest, but CD can definitely see Garo seems to be able to move very easily in the water.
Did Theo take any damage from falling 30 feet?
Yes.
How much?
We'll get that in a moment.
Okay.
And I don't know. Do I need to roll like a persuasion to get you to come with me back to the boat?
Well, Chase.
What did you say? It cut out for me for some fucking reason.
I asked, should I have Garo roll persuasion for you to let him help you back onto the boat? Like I say, he's aware you've just been dunked in the water. You're going to be upset and miffed, but this isn't the first time this has happened. As Grigori rightly said, you did something silly and you got punished for it.
No,
What?
this is I said this is unfair punishment.
No, you definitely called down from the crow's nest that he did something stupid and got punished for it. And you rolled well enough in your persuasion that's what Garo thinks this is all about right now. So he's just trying to help CD back onto the boat. Do I need to persuade you to come back on the boat, CD?
You can roll persuasion, though I doubt you would meet the DC that I've put in my mind. No, you did not.
Okay, well, that's my turn.
All right. And I'm going to give CD the opportunity to give a quick back. 1 or 2 words.
I didn't. This isn't the first time this happened. But by God, this is going to be the last time it happens.
Definitely more than 1 or 2 words. But anyway,
Okay.
getting back to the events on the boat. Bruce, do you attempt to cushion Grigori's fall at all?
Oh, hell no.
Because I'm going to say that you... Fair enough.
Bruce is very pissed off. He does not like people betraying his friends. He's kind of been waiting for an opportunity to take this up with them, but seeing as it turned into combat, it's turned into combat.
You turned
When
it into combat,
calculating-
so you know.
Yes.
When
Yes.
calculating fall damage, you roll a d6 worth of bludgeoning damage for every 10 feet that you have fallen, unless you fall more than 10 feet, in which case nothing happens. Normally, you get the opportunity to roll an acrobatics check in order to mitigate this, but you're stunned, so I'm going to say that doesn't happen. So roll a 2d6, and that's how much bludgeoning damage Grigori takes upon impacting the deck of the ship.
Only 6.
Should have been
Below
3d6.
average.
It was 30 foot, wasn't it?
So roll another
Yes, it
d6.
should be 3d6, yes.
Just roll another d6.
So I see 2 earlier.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So yes, it's 9 total damage after 30-foot fall, which you got off lightly, I would say, there. So, with that, we move on to Grace's turn. Unless there's anything else you want to do.
No, my turn has been to throw him down from there and then movement. I think that's a grapple, and that's pretty much all I can do at this point in turn. He is stunned for another round at this point.
By the way, in regards to the rest of the crew, you can just assume that they are all currently in a state of shock, Alistair included, and basically they're all just kind of wondering what the fuck is going on. By the way, Kiki, I've noticed that you brought out the Ambrosius thing. Are you actually riding your horse right now?
No, I'm not riding my horse, but I'm not exactly leaving my horse behind in the place. I would have been on the boat.
Do you summon the horse?
You can dismiss the horse, you know,
Yes, but why would I?
so that it isn't in the way.
But I like my horse.
Okay.
But you've had the horse on the boat the last couple of weeks.
Apparently
It's
so.
not been a couple of weeks. It's been a week.
The week.
In a week.
She's basically had the horse the whole time.
Presumably, Grace has
Alright.
also explained to the crew that he doesn't need to eat or shit. In which case, they would have been significantly less complaining about it on the boat. But in either case,
Ambrosius is good, godly conversation.
what are you doing on your turn?
I, as far as I'm concerned, have slain the beast, and Case is now presumably going to swim back and come back a tad grumpy, as he often does from these things. So I'm going to wander over here, and actually, did I hear what Grace was saying about Grigori?
You would. I did tell you that I thought they were planning to betray you.
I know, but I mean up on the crow's nest.
I wasn't saying it quietly.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to use half my move speed. No, I'm not. I'm not going to ride a horse on a boat. I'm going to wander over here, and I'm going to simply say, I don't tolerate traitors. And let's see, impale. And twist.
That's a bit mean.
Isn't he unconscious and prone right now? So those are auto crits.
No.
He's stunned and
not
prone.
unconscious, he's stunned. So they're not also.
Oh, all right.
But they do both hit. As a stunned creature, attacks on a stunned creature have
And Ambrosius is going to come over here to support me.
Emotionally?
Sorry?
Emotionally?
I didn't hear that.
Emotionally.
Yeah, emotionally support. He's not going to trample the corpse. As far as I'm fine with this. This is enough for the round.
Okay, so Grigori, you take a total of 21 slashing damage as as you get stabbed twice.
Oh, okay.
And that is the end of Grace's turn.
Yep.
She will use her bonus action on it.
I mean, what would I do with my bonus action at this point? This is fine. I mean, I could summon my spiritual weapon, but this is a person who's down on the floor. You don't go all out against someone who's down on the floor. That's not particularly honorable. You just do the thing.
All right, I'll remember that next time you come across a priest. So your turn comes to a close, and just so that you know, at the beginning of your turn, the blazing dawn did retract.
Yes. Yes, that's why I used the greatsword instead of the blazing dawn attack.
Probably for the best. For Grigori.
However, that's rolled longsword. It should have been greatsword. That's fine though. I'll correct that.
Yep. So in either case, we now move on to
Alistair.
And Alistair is going to call out to the party in general and just shout, I do not know what is happening here. Stop now! Before he's going to then dump 5d6 worth of healing Grigori. Wow, those are some shitty rolls.
Oh wow! Oh!
Yeah. Hey, but look on the bright side, it's palindromic.
Six.
It is. Does that also get away the stun?
No, unfortunately. You receive 10 HP. And is
CD
Alistair
stun.
going to use action on anything? No, he isn't. Yes, it moves on to CD's turn.
Okay. Just correct me if I am wrong. What did you say, Ginger? Did you say something?
Please continue.
Okay. Transformation isn't a bonus action, yes?
No, it isn't.
Damn. Well, at the very least, I am far enough. Okay. I simply turn to Garo and tell him, wait, is Garo Garo isn't hostile towards me, right?
He's just trying to get you back on the boat. Grigori's convinced him that this is just like the rat in the bath all over again. So it depends how you respond. Like, he's not laughing at you, but he's like, come on, let's just get back on the boat. You've had your fun.
I didn't have my fun. Okay. CD turns back into the ship, looking directly at Grace. And I presume I do see her stab Grigori on the floor, right?
The difference in elevation means you wouldn't be able to see what she's stabbing.
No.
But you'd certainly see her pull out her greatsword and jam it into the ground twice.
Would Grace's fear aura be working at this point?
That's up to Grace.
Yeah, Grigori is seen as hostile at this point. Because he's been attacked and dropped down because of traitorous intent, and I've been warned of this in advance.
All right. So,
Do I need to do anything for that?
On your turn, I think.
I just tell Garo, just stay out of it. All right. And
Garo is watching you.
well, okay. How far can I just get out of Garo? Get away from
You
Garo.
can't outrun Garo.
That is a normal
On your
human. I
turn,
can't.
unless Garo is wanting to. Well, he can't actually do anything to stop you from moving. Have the sentinel, but you could use half of your movement to get away from Garo right now if you wanted to. And Garo, if you wanted to, you could take an attack of opportunity against CD in the process.
It depends which direction he's moving and what he does. So I'm just listening at the moment.
Well, I currently have 15 feet of movement. Jesus. Okay. So if I moved over here. And
I'm not going to attack.
Okay.
And CD casts heat metal on 5th level.
I am so disappointed you didn't ask if she was wearing metal.
Right.
So that's 15 plus 12 equals Christ Almighty
27.
27. Yes.
Yep. DC 17 Constitution save, yeah?
The DC isn't actually the DC, as far as I know, isn't actually to reduce the damage.
What is it for?
So-
Click show spell description.
Here.
He has. He posted it. He posted it.
Oh, there it is.
Any creature with physical contact with the object takes 2d8 fire damage when you cast the spell. Until the spell ends, you can use a bonus action in each subsequent turn to cause this damage again. If the creature is holding or wearing the object and takes the damage from it, the creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or drop the object if it can. If it doesn't drop the object, it has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the start of its next turn, of my next turn. So the DC there here isn't to reduce damage. It's to see whether or not she can hold on to the item.
That's fine.
What are you heating?
What
Her
are you-
sword or her armor?
Her armor.
Okay.
Well, that does mean that Grace cannot drop her armor.
Yep.
She must doff it over the course of, I believe, at least a minute.
Which means I can just take the searing pain and
Yes.
take
You
the
have no
disadvantage,
choice
yeah?
but to searing. You have no choice but to take the searing pain, unless Chase loses concentration on the effect.
Mm-hmm.
So you take 27 points of damage,
Yeah.
and
Has disadvantage on attack and ability check. For
Yep.
a turn.
Okay. I have. Oh no, that's not applied. There we go. Now it's applied. There we go.
And you're not riding Ambrosius right now, are you?
No.
So, CD, you have used your action to cast heat metal on Grace, and you have used your movement to put some distance between yourself and Gara. Still have your bonus action.
let me see here. I don't think I have any spells that can be cast through a bonus action.
Okay,
But,
well, we'll look into that. We will move on to the next turn.
Yeah, but I just tell Garo to stay out of it.
You already did that. Garo just watched the whole thing.
Mhm.
Whose
Now-
turn is it?
Speaking of, we move on to Garo's turn.
Okay, well, in which case, Garo just saw someone take an aggressive act to a party member. I think Garo now sees you as a threat, which means all his lightning bolts from his rage are going to be targeting you.
Actually, I am going to have to ask you to make an Arcana check, specifically
An
to figure out
Arcana?
what he just what CD just did in terms of casting that spell, and then probably make some other kind of check to determine that it was in aggression against an ally. Because magic tends to be very
18.
well, you definitely
Ah.
said that he was casting a spell, and I'd even go so far as to say that you recognize the spell cast. So you know he just cast heat metal. I would say you can
Okay.
make a perception check to try and spot the target of the spell.
18.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
You spot that Grace's armor is now beginning to give off some wisps of smoke, as presumably some of her hair is beginning to singe away at extreme heat.
Yeah,
Do I have a flaming mohawk?
Are you wearing your helmet?
Yes, I put my helmet on for this.
In that case, the tips of your hair are currently emitting a decent plume of smoke, as the tips of the ponytail coming out the back have drifted down onto your shoulders.
Right. Now, okay, first things first. Let me check how far away he is. Oh, that's moving my character. 15 foot. So that is in range of my aura. So let's see if I get this right. So half my level rounded down. So that's 5 lightning bolts. Each one does. Where is it? Where is it? 1d4. No, that's not it. Help me here, Ginge. How much damage is each lightning bolt again? I'm being blind.
Let me check my pinned messages with you.
Here we go. 2d4. Found it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
2d4. So that's 10d4 damage, lightning damage. By the way, because he's in water, will this do extra damage?
No, that isn't a thing. This, but here is something that's probably going to annoy Chase quite a lot. Each of these lightning bolts.
A constitution
just
check,
hit.
I know.
So that's 5 constitution.
This is 5 yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Constitution saving throws, am I right?
Yep.
Concentration checks, yeah.
Constitution saving throws. Just call it as this. At least it's the DC 10. Fuck me, that's going to be annoying. Alright. 1.
Damn it.
Metal drops.
Nice.
And you
Unfortunate
take
Chase.
22 points of damage.
Uh-huh.
Once you've done that, I will take the rest of my turn.
So, Gareth,
Right. So, first thing I'm going to do is use my free raging. I did damage, so my rage keeps going. So, my free action to give myself my temporary hit points. So, I'll just
That's a
apply
bonus
that now. Yep. And I am going to swim over to here. And I'm going to. Where is it? Is this it? No. This is it. That's a 24.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yes, it does.
Okay, take 12 damage.
as well as the 5 lightning bolts that you saved up earlier.
No, because I struck them on him, so they don't charge me.
Yes, but you hit yourself with lightning as you were swimming over in your first.
Oh, that would be true. You are correct. I have chosen not to discharge them.
Okay, that's fair.
And I'm going to do this, but as non-lethal. Does a 23 hit?
It does, but I only take 8 damage, so I am not.
I will unleash
unconscious.
some of my lightning power then. Again, this is a non-lethal attack. Oh dear. So, how much extra damage is the lightning going to be on this one? It's 5d10, is 5d4. Ugh.
How
10d4.
fucking obscene is that? Jesus.
Yes. We're
I'm a
all
level 10
obscenely
barbarian.
powerful, dude.
Except for me, apparently.
You use it, which you do. That's CD unconscious.
Right?
Yes, CD is unconscious.
And if I am allowed to, I would like to grab him before he sinks under the water and drowns.
Wouldn't I float?
Well, at the
I
very
don't
least, make sure
know.
you're not face down in the water.
Say,
Fair enough.
are you carrying equipment? Because humans basically naked just about float. If you're
Yeah, I'm
carrying,
just wearing armor,
if
so
you're
there's
carrying
that.
Oh, yeah.
kit, you start to sink.
It's up to you, Chase. Would you like me to prevent you from drowning?
Carry me.
Okay. Then that will be my turn.
All right, that sounds fair to me. So, we move on to Grigori's turn,
Stunned.
who is still stunned because bullshit.
But
Constitution?
Grigori has started his turn in my fear aura and needs to make a DC 14.
I did. I rolled a 15.
That was for entering it. It's also every turn you start in it.
Ah.
You're fine.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
And what is the what was the constitution thing on the on the stunt?
16.
Well, I'm still stunned.
I think it's just the once. You take the save and then it's until the end of Groos's turn.
Yeah.
Monks are crazy.
That's an interesting fear effect. Usually, when you resist the effect of a fear, you become immune to it for 24 hours.
Yeah, because it's bullshit to have it every single turn.
Okay. I can accept that.
Yeah, might want to add that into the text. The same applies to a dragon sphere, for example. Right. So, we move on to Bruce's turn.
Yep, I am going to make all of these attacks as non-lethal, because I'm probably going to finish this at this point. There is going to be a Francois attack.
Well, that obviously hits.
Which
That definitely hits.
does 11 bludgeoning and 4 psychic damage. Yeah,
So that's 15.
which is 15. Then there'll be a punch.
Wisdom saving throw from Grigori.
For what? Oh,
If he doesn't, yeah. Oh,
So
okay.
11 bludgeoning damage.
Yep.
You are too unconscious to hear the insult.
Yes. You take a further punch,
I take the further punch.
6.
and that will have stunning strike on it.
Do I have to roll for that one again, or this is
You
just?
will need to roll for a
He needs to roll a Constitution.
Constitution saving throw of 16 or above.
That's the highest Constitution saving throw you've made so far. But...
No. I had a 13.
Did you? Okay, fair enough. But in either case, that's still insufficient.
And then I'm going to do the old flurry of blows, which is 2 more punches.
Make sure to deduct your key points.
I am down. I am now down to 4 out of the 10 I started with. Bonk. And bonk.
I am down.
But unconscious.
How many key points did you use in this turn?
In this turn, I've used 2.
You should have used more than that, since Flurry of Blows, I believe, uses up to.
No, Flurry of Blows used 1.
Right. Only 1.
Yeah.
Not Stunning Strike.
And Stunning Strike uses.
Am I on how much HP am I now? 0?
You are on minus
no, you're
whatever. Yeah, minus 4.
Yeah. In either case, you're unconscious.
Hmm?
Minus values aren't important unless it goes above your maximum HP, in which case you go splat. So, both CD and Grigori set yourself to 0 hit.
Do we need to stabilize them?
They're knocked unconscious.
CD
Maybe CD, yes.
CD needs to be stabilized.
All right, let's see.
Which probably won't be too easy whilst you're in the water, by the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my ruler up to see how far I can. Well, I can get back to the boat in one turn.
You
So-
can get back to the boat, but you won't be able to get onto the boat.
I have 80 feet of movement. Won't that be enough to get onto the boat? Or can you not use your movement to climb a ladder?
Not whilst carrying someone.
There aren't currently any ladders to climb on the side of the boat. The people here weren't
Fair enough.
expecting anybody to go jump the side.
All right.
Despite the fact
If you
that
can
you
move
can't
CD
have-
with me, I'm going to move up to the side of the boat.
Is I was gonna say, is Grace not up before you?
No, if you take a look
sorry.
at the if you take a look at the thing, it was oh yeah, what the hell? Why did we all
apologise.
assume it was Garrow's?
I don't
Nobody
know.
did.
It's okay.
But
With,
I am.
I mean,
Bruce is going to look up to Grace and go, "It's your decision what to do with them." I told you what they were planning.
keep him there for a while. We'll work something out. I'm going to move Ambrosius out of the way and come over here. I'm assuming there's a rope available somewhere. It's a boat.
There is a coil of currently spare rope that
Assuming,
is kept in place specifically for helping people who go overboard.
yep. Assuming that the turn tracker is purely there to deal with the fact that this is all actually happening simultaneously, and that would be chaos. I'm going to see Gary swimming towards us and throw a rope over and aid him in getting out.
So, unless hostilities break out again, we can assume the natural flow of events instead of being tracked by turn order for now. So,
Sure.
Garrow, feel free to move yourself over to the side of the boat. Grace, Bruce, do whatever it is you want to do.
I think we have to tie them up fairly
Yeah.
firmly before we let them regain control. And I would suggest remove any weapons or any way that they might have of freeing themselves.
Verbal
Mhm.
components to spells, so you might need to gag them.
Yes, probably.
That's fine. We'll tie them up.
During all of this, Alistair is going to be standing at the side and just generally speaking, looking quite upset at all of this.
I am going to tell
Understandable.
Alistair exactly what I had heard them conspiring to do, and that this is why this has happened. That there is one thing that above all is beyond reproach, and that is betraying one's friends. As far as is concerned, this is worse than a betrayal to Crown or God.
Well,
Garrow will also
uh,
pipe in
see-
on this and say, "Wizard or wizard, that I know Bruce really well, and you can trust his word."
Right?
Seeing that CD is currently suffering from imminent demise, Alistair
yes.
is going to use some of his healing light to just put 1d6 of healing back into CD.
Don't say dumbass.
He's at
There you
minus
go.
15. Won't you need to do more than that?
Nope. When the purposes of tracking minus HP is only to determine if somebody insta-splatters from amounts of damage capable of insta-killing.
Oh, fair enough.
His
Saves me from doing a
HP
medicine
sets-
check.
Exactly. Alistair is just basically giving him a bit of health to ensure that to ensure that CD doesn't die. So, CD, set yourself to 2 hit points, and you are also considered conscious now. Although, unless anybody is specifying otherwise, you are currently gagged.
Yeah, we would
Yep,
like.
and tied to the mast.
Yeah, I'd like to have them gagged, tied, and devoid of weapons.
I would like to make an appropriate roll to talk to the captain to make sure the crew aren't about to do anything stupid. Just It's all right. We've got this under control. CD does this all the time. This is just a thing. Don't worry about it.
Wait.
Would you rather they intervene?
1
in
second.
first,
No.
thrown us
1
off the
second.
boat?
1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
Go on.
Trig,
Yes.
you were spying on us with a stealth roll of 17.
Yes.
I
Which-
would have noticed you.
Why? What is your passive?
I have a
perception?
passive perception of 20.
Does a
I was-
passive perception of 20, though, function through a closed door while having a conversation?
No.
I would say passive perception comes into play when you first walk into a room in order to spot things that are obviously out of the ordinary. If somebody is stealthing around, you need to be able to spot them. If you don't know that something is hiding from you, then yeah, you need to be given some kind of clue in order to spot them. Passive
Okay.
perception wouldn't count there, I'm afraid.
That's. Wait. That's not. No. Is that really how it works? Usually, passive perception. 1 second.
I don't know if that's how it works, but that's how I interpret passive perception. It's for noticing things that are out of the ordinary. As
Look at it another way, Chase. Even though you got a passive perception of 20, you don't have X-ray vision. You may have heard a floorboard creak, but the boat is full of creaking floorboards all the time. You had no reason to think that's unusual.
No, passive perception is to assure that. 1 second.
What you're asking is
Look at
analogous
the
to
official-
me making a persuasion roll of natural 20 to get information out of an NPC that they don't have.
No, passive perception works is that if you are trying to sneak on something, you need to keep that passive perception.
Well, I mean, you had the door closed. Like,
wasn't-
What
I wasn't in the room with you.
like you
said
specifically.
from the shadows that you have how did you notice us if you aren't in the same room?
I mean, it's the door, right?
We were whispering.
It was kind of obvious you two went into a room. Even the crew noticed it.
Yes.
Yeah, but we were whispering.
I don't know. Do monks have heightened senses at level 10?
I don't know of any.
Right. Well, in either case, that's a lot of happenings that would need to be taken back if Bruce didn't hear the conversation.
Yeah.
So,
Which is
Which
still
is very
absurd.
important now that to know if he did hear it or not.
I asked
Well,
Jin, she
I'm
said
going-
yes. He's the DM.
for
Then he
sake
did.
of
Then he
not
did,
allowing
yes.
the session to grind to a screeching halt, let's just say Bruce was able to pick up on some of the key details, but not the exact wording of the conversation. How about that?
Fine.
And ruin everything. Yay.
No, your plans.
I don't know if you can tell by the sword that I've put on the top left of the map and renamed and put a suitable aura around, but whether or not the exact details were heard, people may or may not be about to be questioned.
All right. Well, before we go any further, I'm going to say two things. First of all, I'm calling a break so that people can talk above board about this situation.
Mhm.
Secondly, this is the reason why I'm usually very cagey about PvP, because it always results in flared tempers. So, please be amicable with each other going forward.
Oh, sure.
We're all friends here.
Hope so.
But I'm glad you called a break because I want to go get something. So I will be back in a moment.
I mean, you know what I would love
Be back.
at some point, and I say this because I want it not to be thought otherwise, and that not to be thought that I have a grudge against you two, right? I would love at some point to have a game where I play a far less opposing force and can conspire with you guys on elaborate plans. It will be great fun.
I want to know one question, and I'm saying this as just chat because this is characters. It's not people. It's not us.
Mhm.
It's the characters. Are you upset about the way things worked out because the PvP was initiated against rather than on the side of Theo and Chase? Because they were conspiring to assassinate a
Look,
party member.
I am pissed about multiple things.
So there's PvP was going to be initiated, so PvP was on the table.
Look, I am pissed about multiple things. I am
Mhm.
pissed at the fact that we didn't even that despite having 20 passive perception and being in a locked door and conspiring and planning all of this shit out, I still got beaten by a measly 17 stealth and didn't even have a chance to.
Okay, ignore what I rolled.
But that's not just what I am. But that's just
Well,
not
hold
what
on.
I am
Let's
pissed
address
about.
that quickly.
I'm also
right?
pissed.
Let's
Yeah.
address that quickly, right? If you are in a house where people are constantly moving around, right? You've got 15 odd people in the house. There's always movement. You try and slip off and hide a conversation from one or two of the group. So you go into a room and whisper to each other, and you hear movement outside, but it's not unusual. And you've closed the door, so you can't actually see who it is or whether or not it's suspicious. Would that register for you?
Look, once. Okay, look. Despite we were in the room, we were whispering, we were not showcasing our plans. We were beaten by a 17 stealth and not even a roll of perception to see whether or not we were actually talking about something. That's one. That's what I'm pissed about right now. One. Two, I am pissed at the fact that despite doing absolutely nothing, Grace thinks it's a great idea to stab me, despite knowing full fucking well that it is me.
Not the first time that's happened.
No, that's happened pretty much every time you transformed as a way of showing off.
There is usually a reason for that. When I first became a large bird, they didn't know it was me, so that was explainable. When I became a rat, I was sneaking into somewhere, so that was explainable. Right now, I literally did nothing wrong, and I was attacked because she felt like it. That is also doesn't count.
The townsfolk were actively crying out in terror.
There were few gasps in horror. They were not acting out in terror. And even then, I am kind of your fucking friend. I shouldn't be attacked for no reason.
That is what Ginge said. I mean, if I were against you, right, actively, then I would have proceeded to slay you in the water, right? I was not. I was taking you to... I was disabling the form, showing it as a form of, no, we mean no harm. Look, we've slain the monster. And then I left you there after Garrow went to swim out to save you, assuming it's okay, someone's gone to rescue him, he'll come back, and we'll patch him up.
What I don't understand is from a perfectly normal, peaceful conversation suddenly being punched in the face.
Because Bruce, does not like people betraying his friends, and he
I'm-
overheard.
Okay, you can repeat the same thing, but it's still the same response. It's a perfectly peaceful conversation with any attempt of violence from my side.
Because the attack had already
Hand shot
happened.
first.
Yeah, I shot first.
Hand shot first.
I just.
I
I'm
asked
sorry,
you to
I'm
deny
still-
it, and you
I'm
didn't.
sorry. I am still pissed at the fact that a druid turned rogue and the literal fucking elven Gestapo couldn't notice someone hearing on them. I'm just still pissed at that.
Right. I mean, as far as the transformation goes, though, Chase, if combat hadn't been initiated with Grigori, which was just we've found this information, we're taking and Bruce is taking the opportunity now that
Yeah.
something's going on to do something. Grace would have allowed Garrow to swim out, collect him, bring him back, and then would have given you healing personally.
What, a healing slap?
Oh, yeah.
So basically traditional party behavior.
Yes.
I was literally going to slap the health back onto you and go, bloody hell, CD. I thought you wanted to keep that stuff secret, not flash it about.
Bruce, I
point.
thought Grace was acting on the information I'd given her, and I also realised that at this point, the opportunity was now, and it would never come and rise again. That an attack was imminent. If it wasn't dealt with swiftly, it would be turned, and we would lose someone in the party. At this point, both party members are still alive and can be saved.
Indeed. And like I say, the intent here is to cast this truth stone on this blast with you guys tied up and disarmed, and after instructing you not to resist, otherwise I will assume that you intend to lie to me, and then questioning you on the information that Bruce has given me. And if you're lying, then I'm very much in your debt and apologizing. If he was if he was telling the truth, then things need to be dealt with.
Oh yeah, then you kill us nonetheless. Okay.
Not necessarily.
No,
There's always a
if
chance
you
for
guys,
repentance.
if you guys are telling that, if you guys are innocent, then Grace has done a great dishonor to you, and that needs to be repaid.
Agreed. I mean, look, we've been with each other through thick or thin, through literally a realm of hell. You know, that gives you some goodwill from us.
Which is
Yeah.
why we haven't just killed you. We've, at least with Grace, anyway. Anyway, that's why I haven't just killed you. That's why I've let you live for questioning. You know Grace. Grace is stab first, ask questions later, and then, if
Stomp
necessary,
first.
stab later, stab afterwards as well. If not, heal.
Better to ask for forgiveness than permission, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for Garrow's point in all this, obviously the whole you turn into a giant bird thing shocked him a bit. You being pretty much, incinerated by holy hellfire or whatever it was, shocked him a bit. But then Grigori convinced him that this is just, CD did something silly and got punished for it. So
That's twisting my words, but okay.
no,
That's exactly what you
it's not
said.
me. It's not me twisting your words. You said you called down from the crow's nest that he did something stupid and he got punished for it. Garrow interpreted your words as saying, "Don't worry, this is just the usual antics."
No, this is stupid punishment.
I
He literally
agree,
said
but
it's stupid punishment.
the way it was phrased and based on the persuasion roll, Garrow's interpretation was as I described, which
Okay,
is probably a
no,
good
that's
thing
fair,
because
that's
otherwise
fair,
he
that's
may
fair.
have picked a fight with someone.
I mean, if Grace had knocked CD out of the sky and then he'd been
Also-
rescued, pulled back to the ship, and healed back up again, how would that
Also-
be any normal than any of those other incidents?
Also, I just have just one other question.
Mhm.
how my movement was the attack that you did to me was the equivalent of an opportunity attack, not a full-on action attack. I was out of your range. You needed an action.
What are you
needed
talking
an
about?
They're
The,
pulling out a giant fucking sword and cutting me up.
no,
I
that
didn't-
the giant sword that she used has a special attack called the Rising Strike, which is basically a line attack, like from a dragon's breath attack.
Is it a reaction?
No, but
An
It's an
opportunity
we
action.
weren't in combat. Because we weren't in combat, I argued that she was still within range by the time she actually did the attack. You weren't specifically running away from her, so I said that she could launch the attack and basically get you with the last with the edge of the attack's range, basically.
Yeah, I was thinking of it as
That's
essentially an
very fucking
opportunity.
absurd.
Like an attack of opportunity is a standard action attack as a reaction.
No. An attack of opportunity is a reaction. You
Yeah.
you use a reaction to cast an attack of opportunity. You used an action in a reaction.
I used an attack.
No.
As-
You didn't
as
use an
attack of
attack.
opportunity.
You didn't use an
can't
attack.
use-
You used
Can't
something
use
that
Rising Strike as an attack of opportunity because that's counted as a reaction.
yes, that's
Basically,
what I'm trying to say.
Because this isn't a series of events that was taking place through the combat tracker. That's why I'm saying that Grace was able to do it, because basically we were playing fast and loose with the rules of timings.
Mhm.
Effectively.
I thought that it would be funny, right? And that it was appropriate for Grace considering past actions, like the rat incident in the bath, the first bird incident, for CD to go, "Ha, amateurs, watch this, and then fall out the sky, go splash, and paddle about a bit. In the same way that it would be humorous if someone pushed someone else into the water and pulled them out and went, lol, you're soggy.
And then at
I
the
won't
same
lie,
time,
I was
basically
considering
somebody at
doing
the
it
crow's
when
nest being
Grigor was
punched in the face
meditating.
and then pushed out of the crow's nest and stabbed
Yes.
twice.
A
That's-
stab and a twist.
That's betrayal for you. I would act the same myself.
I mean, if the person you're talking to, you feel they are a threat to you, and you know they can teleport,
Yes,
wouldn't
exactly.
you
There
incapacitate them as
was
quickly as possible?
knowing what I knew, and that an attack had already started. There was only one opportunity that he had to actually make sure that it was over quickly and nobody needed to die, which was to take complete control of the combat and incapacitate you instantly, or as quickly as possible. So Bruce did that. I could have killed you. Do we deny that? I could have
If you'd
just
thrown him off the boat, he
I-
would have died.
could have just pulverized him into the deck,
Or that.
but I didn't.
By the way, I think we've been discussing all of this above board for longer now. How about we actually get back to the...
Yeah.
Fair
Sure.
enough.
So, I'll let you guys just go ahead with the roleplay.
I just want it to be known quickly before we go back, right? That all of this is character on character and not player on player. I, like I said, and I'm sure it goes for everyone else here, would very much enjoy playing a game where we are all working for each other. However, in this situation, this is how our characters would have acted.
Oh, by the way, during the process of retrieving the overboard members of the party, tying them up, gagging them, etc., the crew have been mostly keeping out of your way, apart from the ones that have needed to retract the sail on the particular mast you guys are tying party members to. What is
Ginger.
worth noting, however,
Ginger,
is that the boat has now managed to make it to dock.
Before we took a
yes.
break, Garrow was trying to persuade the crew, look, don't worry about this. This happens all the time. This is just normal. I know it's a bit unusual, but let's just let it just happen, and nothing bad will happen of it.
Yeah, that's basically the equivalent of walking into a bloodstained room and then seeing an unconscious body on the floor and having another person standing there with a knife and saying, "Don't worry about it. This happens all the time."
I mean, it's a good intimidation tactic.
It's all very well and good saying it, but currently these crew don't know you, and as far as they're concerned, part of this group of friends just beat another part of this group of friends into submission forcefully and to within an inch of their life. They're keeping their distance as best as possible.
Like I said, it's a good intimidation tactic.
Well, be that as it may, it wasn't Garrow's intent. Anyway, shall we get down to zone of truth business?
Yeah, I'm going to lay on hands Grigori up to 1 hit point. So that he is conscious.
Onto Grigori.
Yeah, Grigori's on 0.
All right.
He needs to be conscious to answer questions, right?
Keep in mind we've gagged them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
you return to consciousness, feeling beaten, bruised, and betrayed. And you are currently gagged, bound, and up against the wall of the mast.
Are we standing against it, or are we kneeling against it? Or...
These are your friends.
cross-legged's probably best, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So
legs
what-
outstretched or whatever, but yes.
Yeah, cross-legged, tie ankles together.
I'm just glaring.
Did we disarm them before?
I
Yeah.
did specify that they would be disarmed, yes.
Okay, just make sure. Who has that knife at the moment?
And that's Grigori.
I'll have all of the equipment if
Okay.
if ever anyone has any
Okay.
problem
Yeah,
with
sure. In fact, we can dump it in the bag of holding.
it. Sure.
Right. I'm going to address the both of them. I'm going to say, right,
This is
we've heard some things that have led us to these actions. I didn't quite think now would be the time, but when opportunity arises, one is bereft to miss it. I'm going to give you an opportunity to clear your names here. Do not resist. And then I'm going to cast a zone of truth right here. Boop.
Now, it is worth bearing in mind that the text of Zone of Truth means a person under its effect cannot lie. They don't have to speak the truth.
oh,
Are you going to resist?
I don't resist.
Neither do I.
Do you resist, Grace?
no, not at all. I'm happy to tell you everything I know. In fact, I already have.
Okay, so I'm going to step back. Bruce, you're the one who overheard this. What was it you overheard? Let's have these two confirm it.
I will relay the conversation as I heard it. Word for word. I can't remember it exactly word for word right now. But that they believed that you were a problem and needed dealing with, essentially, and that they were planning to take action against you.
Answer. Is this truthful?
Yes. Just glaring at you. Yes.
What action did you intend to take?
Currently, wait. We intended to I intended to wait for Grigori to send a message back to his people and ensure something will happen. Play it by ear then, and probably ensure that you don't start a world war in the continent and end up with hundreds of thousands of people dead.
So you intended to act against the will of my god. Good.
Yes.
Grigori, what were your intentions?
You dishonored my land.
What were your intentions?
You dishonored my land, and I do not want you in my land.
Answer the question. What were your intentions?
To get you out of my land.
In what way? How did you intend to get me out of your land? Tell me in detail.
That is a good question.
Answer it. Evasion will be assumed to be falsehoods.
I have not thought of that yet.
You hadn't thought of how you were going to act.
That is correct.
You would have intended to kill me, potentially. Yes or no?
Potentially, if it had to be, yes. Potentially, yes.
Then I'm sorry for what must be done. And,
Grace, hold on a second. We don't need to kill them. We can always let them leave and go their own way, if we don't need to see their faces ever again.
if we release you, will you continue to act against us?
Will you continue to desecrate my land?
Yes. If we continue, will you continue to act against us? If we release you.
Ginge, how far away of the...
I'm going to I know that Grigori can Misty Step. I am going to ready an action.
Okay,
to...
that's great and all, but I'm asking Ginger something.
Okay, I'm readying an action to should I see where he teleports to? If he teleports, javelin him.
If
Is,
Garrett can interject here, he'd like to put a hand on Grace's forearm and ask her a question. Grace, why can't we perhaps meet in the middle? It seems like the thing that upsets our friend Grigori here is that we are having you act in his land. What if we were to go to a different land? Then he would have no reason to act against us, would he?
The thing that's upset Grigori is my holy quest. I cannot turn on my god.
Do you hear her?
What does it you're trying to achieve for your god?
War. I answer for him. She is trying to achieve war. She is
War
trying
can
to
happen
cast.
anywhere.
She is trying. I continue and looking at Garo. She is intending on casting hundreds of thousands of people into needless death because it would please her god. She is intending to cast genocide upon the world and butcher a lot of people just for her to hear the praises of her god. Does that sound good for you?
I can't say I really hold much truck in this whole religious stuff, but
did you not
surely
meet Mars with us?
Wars happen every day. We've just witnessed that in that horrid land
Wars,
we came from.
wait, do wars happen every day? Because the wars, just because wars happen every day, that means we should be allowed to make other wars? that we should be allowed to have someone start out a literal hundreds of thousands of deaths to please her own god? You have an
Garo will
option,
turn
Garo.
directly to CD and
Garo,
say,
what do you say?
he says, "Well, CD, what would you have me do? Look where you are right now. If you wish to stand against her, such as you may, tied to the mast, she's got no choice but to cut you down, and you know she will do it. All right.
Then fuck
As
me.
for this
You-
World War stuff, I mean, this is the first I've heard of that.
Garo, you continuously talk about being a gentleman wizard, about doing the right thing, about standing up for what's right, and yet you see someone who is willing to start something that would bloody the lands for generations to come, and you're not doing anything. I guess all that talk about you being a gentleman wizard was all horseshit, wasn't it? You just do whatever the fuck you pleases
I
you,
have
don't
a
you?
generic question here for everyone in the group. Has it been conversed that Grace is like has she told everyone, or has someone else figured out she's after a world war to wipe out everyone? Like, I know out of character that's what she would like to do to get Mars
Not
back.
to wipe out everyone. It is spoken in a book that the those who cannot defend themselves should be defended.
Right, well, no, out of character though, like I'm asking, do we know that your goal is a world war?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Then I-
Garo return to CD and say, "Look, friend CD, I can only save the lives that are in front of me right now. You know, the potential ones that may happen in the future will be dealt with in the future, surely. As you know, like, look where you are. What choice do you want me to do? I have the choice of try and stop her from killing a friend because you leave her no choice, or convince her that you're not going to cause her trouble by trying to kill her. What would you like me to do?"
I would like you to stand up for what is right, not what is easy. I would like you to act like the goddamn gentleman wizard you've so been endlessly bullshitting us as.
Garo
But
will sigh and shrug. Go on.
But I can see that all your talk before that is bullshit. You're just like the rest of them. You only give a shit about what makes you look good. If I'm set free, I promise you, my first target would be to build up power and save Ulrichberg from the Orcish mafia and their slavery.
A noble cause.
Indeed.
But would you act against us? Would you hinder our path? Or would you go your own way and allow us to go ours?
When the war reaches Ulrichberg, I will be acting out against you. Which, considering what's happening, it is going to be. And
surely
you,
CD has enough wisdom to know that Grace would be happy for that.
And you, Bruce.
Yes.
I guess nothing matters to you as long as you get your drink, eh? 1,000, 100,000 dime. So what? You just got drunk.
If we get this war, there's a good chance.
I hold one thing above drink. That is my friends. Friends betraying friends, I cannot abide.
So if Grace over here starts this war, plunging the land into fire and blood, painting everything there for generations to come, it's alright, so long as she's your friend.
Grace has a holy quest. I've studied
She doesn't have a
religion.
holy quest. She is a mad woman, bent on casting this word into a fire for a god that, as far as we can see, doesn't really give a shit other than fighting.
I don't know. I've read a fair amount of his book. That doesn't seem to be completely the case.
That doesn't seem to be completely the case. Yeah, sure.
I mean,
try as you might, you
have
showed
you
your
read
true
this?
colors today. Try as you might, you showed your true colors today.
You
And
have
if
shown
anyone
your
is-
colours many times, my friend, and we have grinned and bear it. I have even brought you back from God knows where you were. I'm beginning
in a
to
quick
regret that.
interjection, I'm gonna turn to Grace. I'm gonna tell her you're a religious maniac. Then I go to Bruce and I tell him you're a drunken fool. And then I use Misty Step to get out of here.
Okay. Seeing the Misty Step, you can travel 30 feet, yeah?
I can travel 30 feet, and immediately after I get there, I use my invisibility ring.
You don't have
Okay,
an
but-
invisibility ring. Nor do you have a dagger. Nor do you have any equipment.
Okay.
Also, I have a readied action to javelin you the moment you Misty Step. So wherever you
Can
Misty
we?
Step...
Wait. Pause for a second. Misty Step is 30 foot that you can see.
Mhm.
You're tied to the mast, facing out over the water. Where can you see that you'd like to go to?
Perhaps it might be a good idea to. Once again roll initiative.
Okay, I did specifically state that I had readied an action.
Mhm.
Keep an eye out for where he Misty Stepped to, and the moment he started casting it, it being a verbal action, to
Oh,
Have
natural
it.
20.
Fuck's sake.
Even with a natural 20, I still go after Theo.
Yep.
like seriously, I have a readied action for
Of
this.
course I fucking have a 7.
It
I
might
actually have the
miss.
lowest.
I'll have to think about how this works because
I mean, he probably gets to begin his action at the very least before initiative, and then the ready action kicks in. And then we should go to turn order after that, surely. Though I still stand by, he's got nowhere to teleport to.
I'm just drawing out the area that he can Misty Step into, and being able to see.
Keep in mind, he's tied to the mast facing northward.
he can misty step to any location
That he can
is
see.
within sight.
Yeah, within 30 feet.
That doesn't necessarily mean that he has to misty step to a location that's on the ground.
No, he can teleport. He can Misty Step into the air, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
To the water as well.
But he has to be able to see it.
I would say, Grigori, you can see just about any location on the boat right now that is at the level of the mast connecting to the deck.
Is the pink square a reasonable approximate?
I would say so. Yes.
I don't think he
also
could see it here.
He can also see if up in this direction a little bit, but it's not pretty much where you've just drawn out.
Then I don't know if it's worth it using Misty Step.
Sorry?
Then I don't know if it's worth it. Like, I just killed me already, apparently.
Okay, before anything, I turn to Grigori and ask him about your people, like in front of everyone, about your people. If, say, I go to, I don't know, an elfin embassy or something like that, and how would I be able to tell them a way to warn them about all of this?
At the point of that question, I would execute them.
No, come on. Okay,
Excellent.
if that's the case, if that's
Maybe
the
you
case,
should roll a wisdom check on that.
Maybe-
before
Your initiative's lower than hers, dude. She's got to go first.
Come on.
I'm asking
If
whether or not
we are-
you're acting against me and saying that if you can truthfully say within an unresisted zone of truth that you will not act against me should you leave, I will spare you. But
I
if
already,
it's in that zone of truth-
I already said that if you I will not act against you if you don't attack Orenburg.
if you're in that zone, no, you said that you would join the war against me.
If you
When
attack
you're reached.
Orenburg.
when the war reached it.
Yes.
There is, if I may, if Gruskum may, he will interject
Yeah.
and go, there is... If you can give your word bond on your life and your honour. Grigori, you're a man of honour, are you not? If you give your word on your honour that you will
I'd
not
like
act
to think
against
that I
this, on your life, Grace, would you take that as good enough and let him go?
I would take that, sworn as an oath in the zone of truth, to all the gods that are willing to listen.
Grigori, I think this is your only way out of this alive. That, and
I agree.
you would then be walking somewhere to safety. And I would suggest, Didi, this is your only other route as well. I'm sorry it's come to this. You have an oath? Take it? Or not?
He seems to be contemplating it for a minute, focusing, intenting, looking down. He just looks up and says, Hoot. He uses his last transformation into an owl and flies away.
Attack of opportunity.
Owls have flyby. You do not get attack of opportunity.
It sounds
Okay.
bullshit, but he's not wrong.
What's their movement speed?
60 feet.
Okay. Where are you flying to?
Up above into the air, and then up above into the air for 30 feet, and then, for 40 feet, and then out to the nearest, to basically land at the last 20 feet.
You're just going directly up, yeah?
Directly
No,
up.
He's going some distance. And Chase, let's just make things easy and say that you use 20 feet going straight up in order to clear any obstacles from the boat, and then move 100 feet in a direction. Which direction do you go?
I
Wait,
go
hang
to
on.
the direction of the land.
Hang on. What is the movement speed of an owl in flight?
60.
60. Right. So he's
No,
used
40. Sorry, 40.
So
No,
he's
60.
so he's
60
used his,
feet.
he's used his action.
Post the
to tra-
stat, Chase.
It's just Google owl.
What am I
You-
looking
you
for?
don't
Yeah,
need
it's
to.
just
Right,
search
yeah.
owl. Owl has
Wait,
flyby.
Archie's flight was 40 until you upgraded him to 60.
It is 60.
Okay.
Archie
You are
is not a Archie's a mechanical owl. An
Oh,
owl,
That-
okay.
as it stands, I've got it up on the screen. If you just type owl into
Yeah, I found
under
it.
the eye, it's 60.
right. Let me go through the process of operations here. You are using your action to
Yes.
turn into an owl, yeah?
Yeah.
You are then using your movement to fly 60 feet away.
Mm.
And
60 feet away into this direction. And since I can just literally fly past you, as a matter of fact, since I can just literally fly past you, I can just fly from the ship,
Okay.
from the top of the ship, right next to you without provoking
hold-
opportunity attack,
hold on, let's
and
do this.
fly away 60 feet, like
Yep.
over here.
Yep, okay, so you are over there, yeah?
I am over there, 60 feet away.
Right, move your character there then. Do this. Because there's a good chance that there's a fair chance you survive this, right? Let's have a look. You are 50 feet away from me.
There's no chance he survives it.
No,
Is Grace the only one who gets to act on this?
No, because I'm throwing a dart too.
Yeah, I was going to javelin, but go for it.
When they do that, I misty step away.
Okay,
Right,
I'll use
that's
my
fair.
prepared action to use the javelin on the Misty Step then.
and not attack me? Okay.
No,
Well, Bruce is attacking you. He's
the-
got there first.
Don't I get to do anything? He's literally right next to me when he does it.
the dart hits the owl. It's
As
got
he-
disadvantage,
Wait,
but it's at
wait.
60 feet, and it's not actually at 60 feet from me. It's 55.
Wait.
You're hit. You take 8 damage. You've only got 2
Wait,
extra hit points plus the 1 hit point. Sorry, the 1d4 minus 1 hit points that an owl has. You hit, dude.
Wait a second. I'm just reviewing this. I want to see how possibly CD could get out of here alive.
You've done
It
your
was very
action.
easy. You agreed to go back to your
Yeah,
hometown.
We gave you that option.
You make an oath not to
It's
activate
obvious
it.
CD is not going to lie. CD can't lie. He
Then-
is going to be out for blood after this.
Then
It's obvious.
you are hit by a dart that does 8 damage to an owl that can only have at maximum 3 hit points.
Hang on. Bruce, I don't believe that you were holding your action to throw a dart as an owl.
No, but we
No,
rolled initiative, didn't we?
Yeah, and CD's done his full action.
He's done his full action. My next turn is to throw a dart. The dart goes 60 feet. It's a disadvantage at that
assuming
point.
Dart is able to hit him.
Yes, but I rolled 21 and 24 on my hit.
Alright.
An owl has, what is it, 13 armor class?
12, I think.
CD, go ahead and
11.
position your token where it would have ended up.
That's
He's done that.
He has done.
Wait.
You said 60 from here, which was here.
Yep.
We did this.
I didn't. Were you always standing over there, Bruce?
Yes.
Yes, he
Yes.
was.
At the beginning of the conversation, I was standing over there. Yes.
Okay. At the beginning of the conversation, you were standing over there. I did not have that information.
Perhaps you should be looking at the screen in the map.
For fuck's sake! If I knew that, if the DM allows me to change something for that,
There's a lot of retconning.
it's not that much.
It's a lot of retconning.
If the DM allows me, which it's up to Ginger's call, and since you are over there,
I mean, you can look video and roll it back. I've been here since you guys were tied up. I've been standing at a heightened position.
I don't think there is a distance here within your 60 feet you can move that you won't be able to be struck by someone.
No, there is. It's over here and then down.
If you try to fly through me, surely I get an opportunity.
No, you don't.
not
he's
with an
got
owl.
fly
Bye-bye.
by, he can't.
Yeah, you can't attack of opportunity an owl.
Yeah.
Can I attack of opportunity a druid transforming into an owl?
That doesn't count. Attacks of opportunity can only be made on a target that is leaving your attack range.
I don't think that's
Okay.
true, actually.
Well, unless you get a certain perk that allows you to attack opportunity someone who's casting magic.
No, actually, the problem. All right, CD, I'm going to just save a bit of time here. So you're going to be like down here below vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me just check. So if I move here, that's within 15 foot of that. You're going to get hit by 5 lightning bolts on my turn.
Right.
Like seriously, dude. The only Garrow doesn't want you to die, but you've basically sealed your fate by saying you're going to try and kill us all.
Yes.
I'm not gonna try and kill you all. I'm gonna try and stop a mad woman from her quest to attack everyone.
Okay. Everybody stop for a moment. Chase, put yourself back to where you were a moment, when you were tied up.
Okay. I was here.
What are you going to do? You get to do one thing, and then that's it. That's initiative begins, and then you've got to get through everybody else's turn before you get to take it.
Okay. Viewing the map, actually viewing the map, because I was more focusing on the Discord call and, real playing this stuff. I can see that Bruce is over here. Grace is over here. Garo is over here. Alistair didn't say anything the whole time, right? Am I to assume that he wouldn't?
Being silent.
Am I to assume that he would attack me if he has,
Why don't you
or would
ask
this
him?
information? No. Would I have that
know that.
information?
You don't know that. The only thing of significance that you've seen Alistair do so far
Is he me?
once all of this madness broke out, he told everybody to stop attacking each other, and then he healed Grigori, and he has also presumably healed you, but you don't actually know that.
Could I roll a wisdom in order to see whether or not he will attack me?
Roll an insight check.
Okay, I'm rolling an insight. Right now, 16.
He hasn't taken any action against you so far, but you're
Okay.
not sure.
Then, with my transformation, I fly by his side, right over here.
I'm going to say that if you choose to transform, the action of transforming means the turn order begins, meaning you are then stuck in that position as whatever you transformed into until it gets down to your turn again.
That's fucking absurd. I am gonna fucking die then. I always roll shit for these.
You have another option. You could take Grace's offer and go home. You don't have to do any of this. You could just say, "Fine, I accede. You've beaten me. I'm
You
going to
could
go home
swear.
and look after my
When
own."
you have an easy and right choice, you take the easy choice or
You
the
can,
right choice.
The right
can
choice here is that you do your best to get out of this alive, because
Yes.
if
Yeah,
you
and-
stay
and-
alive, you can make things different in the future.
A wise man
And
gets
that
to
route-
live.
I can't. Look,
that
I
route
can't
is
lie.
that
Could
route
I?
is by swearing under all the gods willing to listen that you will go home and not act against any of our party.
I already said that I will only act if you drag Ulrichberg into the war.
Then make the swear.
That's
Swear
right.
Yeah,
it.
why
And
are
I'll
you
allow
doing
you
all
to leave.
this combat?
Well, you are going to die if you try to do anything else. Just swear it and walk away free.
Okay, I swear that my first course of action would be to gain power and free Ulrichberg.
This is not what we asked you to say.
And I will only act out against you if you even start whispering about dragging Ulrichberg into your war.
This is not what I asked for. I'm going to stab him.
This is Chase. You got to understand. You don't get to negotiate in a situation like this.
Yes. When you are beaten, you're beaten.
What the fuck do you want me to say? That I'm not going? That
Yes,
I'm going to let her
yes,
fucking
yes.
kill Ulrichberg?
I want you to say, I swear I will not raise an action against any member of this party. I am beaten. I am done. I will go my own way, and I will not raise an action against you. I have my word against, under all of the gods of this world.
And what if
And on
she
my honor.
and what if she drags Ulrichberg into her war? What then?
You are welcome
Am I
to
to
fight
allow
in-
it?
You
you are-
defend your home.
You defend your home.
So
It's
I
not
am
saying
allowed
you
to.
can't-
So wait, am I allowed to take action against her if she attacks my home?
Chase. Understand what Grace wants. Her motivation is she wants fighting. If the war comes to your home, she wants you to fight. That's not an action against her. That's an action in her favor.
An action
If you
against
even
her
manage
is
to
not. Is,
slay her in that fight, that is still an action in her favor. That's what she
Okay,
wants.
okay.
I-
If that's how it is, then I will swear that. And keep in mind that if she does come into my home, I will raise my hand against her.
And Grace should be happy with that, surely.
Right. I shall stand here. I shall look to Seedy. And can I I've got 2, Ginge, channel divinities.
Mhm.
Can I use those to essentially draw the attention of the gods to this here?
You can try.
I would like to do
Follow-
that.
You
Go on.
follow a god that is not native to this plane of existence. So, I say, you can try.
I mean, isn't it kind of like she's just getting a big foghorn and raising it up to the sky?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just making it so that all any gods willing to any gods that can hear this will hear this.
There are
Okay.
no gods on this plane of reality who are interested in what you have to say. But if you shout loud enough, you might get their attention regardless.
Fine.
I would say you can expend whatever you want to expend, roll whatever you want to roll. The results of your efforts may have an effect, may
I will
not.
expend all of my channel divinities, which is I think 2 at this point.
Okay.
And I shall speak towards Chase. I shall say this oath is accepted under the banner of all of the gods that may listen to this. I in return shall make an oath to you that so long as you do not act out against me, or intend to act out against me, I shall cause you no harm, and I shall unbind him.
And I will lay his equipment, money, and so on out before him for him to collect.
All right.
Take your things and go.
I pick my things, but just before I go, I ask Grigori. Grigori, do you mind telling me?
I will take an oath as well.
Do you mind telling me your full name?
Yes.
Wait, are you going to tell me your full name, or are you not going to tell me your full name?
I do mind.
I guess I try and convey that this is important. What should I roll to convey that this is important?
Persuasion, perhaps?
I would say persuasion or performance.
Persuasion or
Okay, so keep in
performance, which
mind
I...
that if Grigori doesn't want people to know his full name, if he tells you now, everyone here will know it as well. You could perhaps wait till you're both on the pier alone to do that. Might
Wait,
be
is he going to be
what a
released
wise
as well?
person would do.
I am taking an oath as well.
But she's going to act against your land.
Better he's alive.
I'd rather be alive. I do not want to fight. I have not been hostile. At this point, I just want to leave.
I shall then share the same oath I shared with CD to Grigori, and I shall allow him to leave. I think, though, we will be holding on to the knife.
No.
No.
No?
No.
No,
Let him use that.
We are not petty thieves.
Yeah, and he can travel quickly back to his home with that.
Okay. That seems fair, actually.
It would be dishonourable.
Yes.
Okay, I shall put a hand on both of their shoulders, and I shall give each of them 24 hit points.
24, so
You can click on your character and then you can put plus 24. If you click on your character thing, you can do plus 24 and it should add 24 in there.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
neat.
I think Kiki told us that a few sessions ago.
okay. This oath, what's its wording exactly?
Shut up.
No, I need.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Shut
shut up.
Up.
The wording is that you will
I
take
recommend
no.
that you get out of melee
Mhm.
range of the angry paladin before asking said questions.
I'm asking out of character.
Right. Out of
No, I'm
character.
asking out of character.
This oath is that you, CD, and Grigori will take no action against myself, Grace, or the party to impede us or harm us. And I have made an oath that so long as you hold to this, I will do you no harm. And you've made this oath as an oath, a life promise, under a zone of truth. So you have to have believed that this is something you will do.
Wasn't there a part about them being allowed to defend their homes?
Yeah, that's the important bit.
Yeah, they're allowed to defend their homes, but that is the nature of war. That is not acting against us, particularly. That
So
is
we are allowed to defend our homes. Are we allowed to take all actions to defend our homes?
you're not allowed to
Shut
act.
up, Chase. Please,
You're
for
not
the love
allowed.
of God.
This is out of
act.
character. Calm the fuck down.
You are not allowed to act against Grace or her party. That includes trying to stop her plans. You must allow the war to happen, should a war happen. You can then defend yourself after that situation. You cannot go, okay, well, to defend my land, I want to stop this war, so I'm going to do everything to stop what Grace and her party are doing.
All right, I accept the oath and just grab my things, Tatooine, and just turn into a giant owl with Tatooine right on my back, riding on me, and fly away.
Do I get
Really,
all
you're not gonna walk into town with Grigori and have a chat with him?
Actually, that is the better plan. I would do
thought
that.
you wanted to.
Yeah, I would do that.
For fuck's sake, Chase.
Sorry. My character has 20 wisdom. I do not.
Has anyone got like a count of the number of minor retcons that has happened?
Minor?
Don't.
Yes, minor. There hasn't been anything major, has there? Now, as Thede and Grigori go to disembark, Garrow will tip his hat to them and wish them well and the best of luck in all things. He will turn to look at both Grace and Bruce as if to imply, don't you want to wish them well?
No, I will. I will wish him
Indeed.
a safe journey. And the blessing of Mars be upon him.
He just scowls as you say that.
Indeed.
No hard feelings, right, guys?
We had some good times. It's a shame it had to end like this. Raises his drink up to you and takes a shot.
Hmm.
A drink to your good health.
I just
Once
ignored him and
they have disembarked and
I ignored him and I turned to Alistair. It is not too late for you to come with us, I say to him.
Alistair is going to look Grigori in the eyes and say, I believe that there is additional guidance needed here more so than yourself. But you have my blessings.
Sure. I hope that your stay in this world will not be a short one.
As do I. Perhaps we shall meet again, and hopefully as friends.
I hope.
Alistair will look back at the rest of the party as he says friend, by the way, looking each of them in the eyes.
Garrow's nodding emphatically.
Agree.
This whole sordid thing should never have happened.
It wouldn't have happened if passive perception was taken into consideration, but
Or you guys were trying to plan, a betrayal. There's many things that could have stopped this from happening. But
I mean, if it hadn't have happened now, it would have happened later when you enacted whatever you had in mind. I don't know how to put this to you, but you versus Garrow, Grace, and Bruce all at once is not an easy fight.
I
not
mean,
if you're smart about it.
Grace was going to continue down this path. If you guys were true to, I only heard of this. Grace only heard of this through Grace. If you guys were going to hold to this, then this conflict would have come up eventually. Maybe it would have come up in your favor. In fact, it probably would have done, but it would have still resulted in someone getting
a PvP action.
Yeah.
Probably a character dying. Wait.
Now nobody's dead.
Yeah. It was difficult to.
I did offer an easy out.
I shout at CD, let's go.
I just carry on with him and go.
Well, once they leave eyeshot, Garrow's you notice him just noticeably slump a little, like the tension's gone out of the room, and it's like he turns after a moment and looks over to Grace and Bruce, and then to Alice and said, "I don't know about you guys, but I could really use a drink. Let's go find a pub."
Flask is handed immediately.
Yeah, he takes a good swig, and then pats you on the back. Said, "Bruce, you always know what I need."
That was regrettable, but
Terrible stuff, really. I mean, when you told me that stuff, I didn't want to believe it, and to be honest, even when it the whole Cooker Paladin thing got going, I was like, until that moment, I thought he was just the old antics. I was feeling back at home, nostalgia and all that of the terrible time in abroad, but terrible business, terrible.
They were good friends. It's a shame we had to lose them.
Indeed. We fought well together. Now he raises Grease's flask to the group.
yes.
I shall. I'm assuming you're pouring out for all of us.
Oh God, yeah.
I shall raise my glass and I shall say, so their continued health.
Their continued health and long life. May it be.
Always.
Alistair will join in this.
Indeed. I've knocked 2 pints of brandy off my my total, so everyone should be relatively good and sloshed. Should they?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we paid the boat people, or was it pay on arrival?
I suspect they might be a bit iffy about taking us much further at this point.
Is the captain still on board?
The rest of the crew of the boat are either hiding below deck, and those with a decent, those looking down will be able to see them, apparently watching the show from beneath the grates, or will be up on the two decks, both at the aft and the bow, looking down at this display and having watched along.
Very
At least a couple of them will have a notable look of disappointment at the lack of popcorn.
Where is the captain?
Hmm.
The captain is at the same spot that he usually is during any kind of docking maneuver, which is at here at the wheel.
I shall, what was his name?
It was Morrigan.
Captain Morrigan.
He looks down and gives you a quick nod, but no words.
You've offered us some training on this ship. We've, I like to believe that we have been good hands for you. We've lost two good friends at this port, unfortunately. I don't have any intention of staying here. Would you be willing to take on some extra crew to the next port?
He dips his vision towards you, going from a head tilt of "let's hear what you have to say" to a head tilt of "now you listen to what I have to say," as he calls out in response, "I'm sorry, lady, but you're gonna have to get off my ship. I let this play out for as long as was necessary, but after seeing all of that, these are the kinds of friends you keep. I don't want all of this coming onto my ship for any longer than is necessary.
Fair enough.
Have a few more minutes to finish up your business, but once you get off my ship, you won't be welcome back on again. That goes for all of you."
I will respect your wishes if you still hold them. However, the disruption has passed. We hold no further ill intent here, and we can promise you no trouble to the next port if you would have us. Else we shall simply leave and look for another ship.
I'd appreciate it if you left.
I understand. I'll bring my horse. Guess we need a new boat, guys.
It looks like it.
Up first, I say.
Hmm. Captain, I
Sorry.
bid you a good day. I am sorry it came to this, but I'm assuming you would treat betrayal amongst your ranks similarly, if not more harsh.
He nods and says, "Look, I don't wish any ill will against you and your friends, but trouble has a way of following certain people around, and you guys give off that kind of air.
Fair enough.
Not good for business."
Hop over onto.
I will tip my hat at the captain and thank him for his very illuminating lessons and bid him well.
We wish you fair winds and good sailing. May the blessing of Mars be upon you.
He takes his hat off, puts it to his chest, and gives you all a nod, and says, "Blessings of Pridania to you as well. And I genuinely do hope that you all have a safe and boring journey. I would hope you wish the same to us."
Indeed.
And
Come on, friend Alistair, let's go get drunk.
Yeah, Alistair follows along.
Where's my token small? Ooh.
Probably the same reason why your avatar is small.
Right. I don't know about you guys, but it is midnight, and this seems like a good stopping point.
Indeed.
It does.
I would agree, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I have to fucking. Well, for the time being, I won't be playing, but I would have to think about what my next character would be.
Just so that everybody is aware, Chase and Theo are not out of the campaign permanently. They will be coming back, hopefully as soon as possible, but once they've managed to get their real life scenarios sorted out.
I am
Understood.
absolutely. I am looking forward to both of you seeing what characters you come up with and interacting with them. It will be good fun, and hopefully far more favourable than what's happened with CD and Grigori. I hope I do hope that both of you understand that this is purely character, and that I do see both of you guys as friends.
Naturally, it's just a game.
Mm-hmm. You good, Theo?
He's probably asleep. Unless he
Yeah.
isn't.
I forgot I switched to push to talk. I'm here.
And you know what? If you guys have a game coming up and it's like, I mean, I'm busy a few days of the week, but if you guys have a game coming up and you are, I don't know, doing a heist, or you have like a concise goal that I can get on board with, and I can get on board with most things, so long as I've made a character that gets on board with it, which I would do if I knew in advance, I would more than happily scheme and conspire with you any day.
Let's hope so. Well, with all that said,
Mhm.
I believe, yeah, we're bringing an end to the session now, aren't we?
Think so. Shall we wind it up and
I don't see any reason why not. I'd be quite happy to have any one-on-one conversations with anybody who wants to do so after the session, by the way. That goes for everybody, not just the people who have just made an exit from the game.
Okay,
What if everyone wants
just
to do that? How
I don't
will
intend
you have
to
to
go
split
to
yourself in
everyone.
half?
just as a question, since I still think CD's character, I probably am going to use CD in another campaign, one that is more focused on a city-based and heisty campaign, where characters are like not necessarily evil, but more willing to twist the rules in order to get stuff they want, like heists and whatnot.
Into the stream, Chase. Could you save it?
yeah?
Okay, sorry.
just-
I thought we ended the stream already.
I was
I'm
about
sorry.
to. Yeah, is there anything else anybody wants to say on stream? And I'll end at the point. Okay,
No,
so,
go ahead.
cool. Okay, in that case, it's ended, and
All right.